If you love almonds,
Almonds? Yeah.
really love almonds,
I do.
I do.
I do.
you'll love the Mars Almond Bar. So many almonds, you get an almond in every bite.
An almond in every bite. Right. Yeah.
Plus real milk chocolate. So get an almond in every bite. Mars Almond Bar. And now Mars Sprint Bar and Mars Crunchy Chocolate Bar. The best chocolate on Earth comes from Mars.
In some ways, I'm old-fashioned and sentimental. I save love letters, and I press flowers in books. But I do like the modern way to have prettier hair. That's why I like Nice and Easy. It's got built-in conditioners, and the color looks so honest. It lets me be me. I guess that's why Nice and Easy is the world's best-selling hair color.
Now, here is a corn lover, and there's nothing more gratifying to a corn lover than to know that her mother has given her delicious Del Monte family-style corn. More people eat it than any other corn like it. This is a special strain developed to be sweet and tender. And when a corn lover is eating Del Monte corn, she probably doesn't need to hear me talking about how good it is, right? Well, then I'm just going to go into the living room and talk about corn to the sofa.
Nothing's too good for Daddy and me. Mom brings Del Monte home.
Purina Puppy Chow helps little puppies grow into big puppies. But then its job is only half done, because even after he looks full grown on the outside, inside his muscles are still forming and his bones are still growing for about a full year. That's why he needs a full year of the extra nutrition in Puppy Chow. Puppy Chow for a full year, till he's full grown.
Decision 88, election update. Here is Tom Brokaw, NBC News.
Good evening. Senator Bob Dole wins a doubleheader tonight in South Dakota and in Minnesota. Let us show you our projections now in those Midwestern states. Dole is our projected winner in South Dakota, and a very impressive showing tonight in Minnesota as well for Senator Bob Dole. And look what else happened in Minnesota. Pat Robertson, our projected runner-up, beating out Vice President George Bush. On the Democratic side, in South Dakota, Missouri Congressman Richard Gephardt, our projected winner over Massachusetts Governor Michael Dukakis. The vote now in South Dakota. As you can see, more than half of the vote has been counted. A very significant victory tonight for Richard Gephardt. It is his second Midwestern win. He won in Iowa, of course. Michael Dukakis spent a lot of money in South Dakota and was well organized but fell off the pace in the closing hours of the campaign. And Al Gore, who is trying to demonstrate that he's a national candidate, not just a regional candidate, gets only 8% of the vote. On the Republican side, Bob Dole, the winner in South Dakota, and another close race for second place between Robertson and Bush. If Robertson beats Bush here, it will be the third time that he has defeated the sitting vice president in the rural Midwest. So that would not be a good night for Vice President George Bush. We'll have a complete wrap-up on all of this tonight, including interviews with Gephardt and Dukakis at 11:30, 10:30 Central Time. For now, I'm Tom Brokaw, NBC News, New York.
Come on, you guys. The sun's already up. It's going to be a golden day.
Let's eat.
Oh, those golden grahams. Oh, those golden grahams. Crispy, crunchy graham cereal, family breakfast treat. Oh, those golden grahams. Oh, those golden grahams. Golden honey, just a touch with Graham's golden wheat.
It's a great tasting part of a complete breakfast for the whole family.
Try those golden grahams and have a golden day.
After you take away the bread, cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, and mayonnaise, what have you got? Well, with Oscar Mayer bologna, you've got meat, and lots of it. Cuts from the beef brisket, chuck, round, and flank. Cuts of pork side and shoulder, never cereal or filler. Oscar Mayer bologna. The beginning of a beautiful sandwich.
When can I pick up the pictures?
Thursday.
Thursday, okay, let me make a note of that.
You gonna write it down there?
Oh, well, it's going to,
Oh,
yeah.
well, then let's say Tuesday.
You mean 2 days earlier?
No, 5 days later.
5 days later, I thought as much.
If this customer were at a Photomat store, we'd be introducing him to our brand new picture pickup promise. Photomat's way of telling you exactly when your pictures will be ready.
That quick?
Sure, and if it doesn't work out, you get a free roll of film.
Oh, no. You get in trouble for
it's
that.
no problem.
Huh?
It's a Photomat policy.
The Photomat picture pickup promise.
Is there a Photomat store around here?
Oh,
Saturday, the fun starts when Nancy meets Francie, Sunshine's mom.
Actually, we live a very quiet life here. Oh, I won't. And what do you call this? Bad timing.
Then there's a fire at the fishes.
The empty house 2 doors down, it's on fire.
Could Victor be a firebug?
These children are under my supervision.
Go fish!
And Starsky and Hutch are set up by the mob. Right after Blansky's Beauties and Fish.
I can't believe this. You know, Gravy Train's really been improved. Look how the guys go for it. It's a big improvement because Gaines just added a natural beef flavor. Improved Gravy Train even looks different. And dogs can taste the difference, wet or dry. Tests show they prefer its new beefy taste over old Gravy Train 3 to 1. It's fully nutritious, too. New Gravy Train, a big improvement in taste. Right, guys?
I missed my big chance last time. Angie, I'm not going to miss it again.
There it is! That's the Athena 2000 electronic machine by Singer. It's $100 off. Push these buttons. It sews 25 stitches.
Beautiful.
Even measures buttons and makes buttonholes to fit in 1 step. If you missed your chance last time, the big Singer sale is back.
Hey, Debbie, if you was my mother, what would you think of your son now? Huh?
Oh.
You're the Pepsi generation, come and have a Pepsi day. Come on, come on, come on and taste the Pepsi way. Come on, come on, come on and have a Pepsi day. Wrap a thirsty smile around it, raise your Pepsi up and down it. Come on, come on, come on, come on, have a Pepsi day.
Gestures you make will...
Are your teeth really their whitest, up close? Is your breath really its freshest, up close? They can be with new Close-Up, the toothpaste and mouthwash in one. Clear red Close-Up has 2 whiteners that get teeth whiter than the toothpaste most people use, and a real mouthwash. So it not only gets your breath Close-Up fresh, it also gets your teeth Close-Up white. Close-Up is for close-ups.
This is Professor Goody speaking to you from a diving bell 400 feet beneath the ocean, where I'm about to prepare some delicious Aunt Jemima frozen waffles just for me, not for that pesky waffle whipper. Waffle, waffle, waffle. I take them from the freezer, pop them into the toaster, and light, crisp, golden brown with Aunt Jemima syrup on them. Aunt Jemima waffles for kids who like a square meal for breakfast. Waffle, waffle, waffle. Waffle, 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 waffle. Wallace, please, stop. All right, Wallace, won't you join me? Waffle, 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 waffle.
That's a waffle whipper whipping an Aunt Jemima waffle. They're in your grocer's freezer. Is there a waffle whipper at your house?
Waffle, waffle.
A bunch of kids looking for action. So what's doing out on the street? Is this the way we ought to use our boy power? Think about it. America's manpower begins with boy power. Let's not waste it. Be a volunteer worker with the Boy Scouts.
All over the world, the word for great coffee flavor is Nescafe.
We're the world's favorite brand of instant coffees.
In America, Nescafe's great flavor comes 2 ways.
We're the world's best-selling too.
Nescafe Regular in the red label.
If Nescafe can please the whole wide world.
And now Nescafe Decaffeinated in the green label.
We can sure please you.
Same kind of flavor. Nescafe Regular, Nescafe Decaffeinated. What's your pleasure?
When the family's all together, life's the best that it can be. Life's more fun when you're munching when you're munching Fritos. 'Cause Fritos goes with fun, and fun makes family memories. And old or young, life's more fun when you're munching Fritos. Munching Fritos. Life's more fun when you're munching one, when you're munching one, when you're munching Fritos. Life's more fun when you're munching one, when you're munching Fritos. Grand corn chips.
Don't come near me.
Thursday, John Amos, Ernest Borgnine, and the cop of the future are set up by a girl on the edge. Then a new puppy brings Chrissy and Jack closer together.
Yeah, there's nothing a girl likes more than a little tickle on the tummy.
Three's Company after Future Cop and Barney Miller.
I'll give you $50 for those sneakers.
$50. Okay? You can have them. They're terrible. It's to prove a point. Now, you wash in detergent alone, right?
Yeah, okay. Let's wash this sneaker in detergent alone and this one in the same detergent plus Clorox bleach. Now, see any cleaning difference?
The one I wash with my detergent is just dirty. The one washed with Clorox looks so clean.
Clorox clean. People can see the difference.
Hey, who woke me up?
Oh, sorry, Cuckoo. It's this cold. I'm stuffy and my sinuses. Oh.
Try 4-way long-acting nasal spray, Nose. It relieves stuffy noses and sinuses up to 10 hours to help you breathe easier so you can fall asleep easier.
Hey, that's a blast.
A blast that lasts all night.
Thanks, Cuckoo. Your timing's right on the nose. 4-way long-acting nasal spray. The blast that lasts all night.
It's not too sweet. It's refreshing, crisp, and neat. Canada Dry Ginger Ale. It's not too sweet.
It's not too sweet. I repeat, it's not too sweet. Canada Dry cools your thirst. It's a taste that can't be beat.
It's not too sweet. It's a cold, refreshing treat. Canada Dry Ginger Ale. It's not too sweet.
Regular or diet, it's more refreshing because it's not too sweet.
When entering the world of art, you'd be smart to dress the part. Gentlemen prefer hands, with all the ladies draped in crepe. The artist loves the human shape. Gentlemen prefer Hanes. Hanes will make you smooth and silky, shapely, sexy. Wear a pair and you could be captured for posterity. Gentlemen prefer Hanes.
I hereby dub you the Easter Bunny.
Wednesday, a special family presentation narrated by Fred Astaire.
The Easter Bunny is coming to town today.
Let's all have a happy Easter.
The Easter Bunny's coming to town.
We here at the ad agency feel this commercial is provocative, motivating, and really class-a-roo. Now, what do you think, sir?
Only one shoe? Florsheim makes over 256 different styles. Show them all, big, big. What about the craftsmanship? Even our laces are better.
Have lace shoes?
Why don't we show a huge centipede wearing all the Florsheim shoes?
I like that. That could be a musical. Shaboom, shaboom.
Hey, I like that.
I like that.
Everything down.
I come to show you why mannequin flavor plenty enjoyable. I need water. See, water make leaf stretch. Wrap cigar well. Mouth enjoy flavor. Yes? Mannequin flavor special.
Sheer enjoyment.
Nobody can connect you with more of this country than United Airlines. With low-cost vacations from Hawaii to the New York Islands, to the mountains, to the oceans, to the sunshine, and back again. That's why in the friendly skies we say, your land is our land.
This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Islands, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me.
Good morning, JF.
Danny, sounds like you've accidentally invented a thermochemical energy source.
A scientific wonder becomes a nightmare.
Someone's walking around with enough explosive to turn the city into a pancake.
A power that could mark the beginning of the end for the $6 million man.
How does your daughter feel about the wash? She couldn't care less.
Mrs. Shep just uses detergent alone. Let's see what happens when she adds Clorox bleach to one of her loads.
Which blouse would you rather wear?
This one. This one's much cleaner than this one. It's a good feeling to wear something clean.
Well, I said you wouldn't care. I mean, it's just so much whiter. It's very obvious. That's the Clorox one. And there is a definite difference. From now on, we'll just have to use Clorox.
Clorox makes the difference.
I see now that she does care.
Look, Linda, I just bought a new seamless support bra that's so beautiful. I have to show you. Better show you this way. It's the Playtex Support Can Be Beautiful bra, and it's seamless. Don't you love these pretty details? And these smooth, seamless cups. Plus this secret support designed for real support. And you know, it's so pretty. It makes me feel pretty. The new seamless Support Can Be Beautiful bra from Playtex. Support can be beautiful.
The American Eagle. Goodyear's symbol for its all-American kind of radial tire. Goodyear is committed to product innovation. We introduced rayon cord in tires. We created the polyglass tire and the polysteel radial. And now the American Eagle with belts of Flex 10 cord instead of steel. Flex 10 is made from a flexible man-made aramid fiber that's pound for pound stronger than steel.
The tire for America, the American Eagle, the tire.
Pardon me, what kind of dog food does your dog eat?
Young fella, there's two things I know. Checkers and dogs. Dogs like canned dog food. Especially Herman here.
Do you think he'd like Gaines burgers?
Well, he might. Yeah, leave this to me. Dogs like food that's moist and meaty.
But Gaines burgers are moist and meaty, see?
Go ahead, but...
And they taste terrific.
And you don't know nothing about Checkers, neither.
Gaines burgers dog food. The canned dog food without the can.
I found a recipe you won't find in a cookbook, but it's sure nutritious and a real money saver, too. Take a quart of Carnation Instant Non-Fat Dry Milk. Add a quart of whole milk. Mix, chill, and serve. You get 2 quarts of fresh-tasting low-fat milk and make a real savings on your milk bill. Carnation Instant Milk. Good for you and your budget, too.
Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Almond Joy's got nuts, Mounds don't. Almond Joy's got real milk chocolate, coconut and munchy nuts too. Mounds got deep dark chocolate and chewy coconut. Ooh. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Peter Paul, Almond Joy's got nuts, Peter Paul, Mounds don't.
Plus, now there's also a new Mounds with creamy rich milk chocolate.
What you're about to see is the world's most revolutionary telephone switching invention. We call it Super Switcher. It has almost no moving parts, yet handles 4 times more calls than its predecessor. It required an investment of $400 million, but should ultimately save $1 billion a year. And soon, every major American area will have one. Looks dull, eh?
Well, imagine that each of these cars is a long-distance call. This new invention can handle over 500,000 an hour. That's 5 days' traffic on a busy Los Angeles freeway. Super Switcher. It should go a long distance to prevent traffic jams on your long-distance calls.
The Bell System. People using technology to help keep down costs and improve service. Keeping your phone system the best in the world.
It's the first show of the new year, and the Captain and Tennille do it right. With their guests Marilyn McCoo and Billy Davis Jr., John Biner, Muhammad Ali, and Joe Namath. It's the new 1977 Captain and Tennille.
You are the apple of my eye, yeah. Forever you...
Show starts soon.
This is a cubic foot. There are 5 more of these inside the new Chevrolet than there are inside this year's older style full-size cars of Chevy's nearest sales competitor. That's based on U.S. government estimates of vehicle interior size as reported in the 1977 EPA Guide for New Car Buyers. The new Chevrolet with 5 more cubic feet of room. It stacks up beautifully. Now that's more like it.
Fellow Americans, stop dragging your feet. Wear kitties when you're going to go out on a date.
Look great.
But do you know your feet need a little love?
Kitty knows.
What an agonizing, enterprising, hard kind of day you spend working overtime. You.
Live it small.
You. When you shop, you need shoes for it all. I say comfort and style. If you're young at heart or young enough to remember, come to Kitty and explore. And the great American, great American, great American shoe store.
Check, check, testing, 1, 2, fuck it. That's my cue. Good morning. Good morning, JF, if you're still there. How's it going, dude? Still recovering. Recovering from what, you might add? Waking up. That's it. The shock of life. That's what it is. Waking up every morning is like getting defibrillated. And realizing you're still alive. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. I've got a little bit of a cough this morning, only because of that bong hit. That's it. That's the only reason. Another coffee cup. My daughter, she got me a coffee cup when she was in Chicago. See? It says Reckless Records. They went to the record store. I'll have to find the Polaroids they took. Yeah, because my kids take Polaroids. I got retro kids. My daughter and Joey. And Nat. My daughter's friend in Chicago. They went around Chicago taking Polaroids. Isn't that cool? Yeah, they took a few on the camera, the phone. But they took a couple of, like, packs, multi-packs of Polaroid film. Joey's crazy vintage retro like that. I love it. You know. He's just a regular 26-year-old kid nowadays, and then all of a sudden he pulls retro vintage out and says, look at me. And he's just badass. He's just freaking badass. Kid's badass. Took my daughter to campus yesterday at university, and she did her one class, and then I dropped her off with her friends who, it was someone's birthday yesterday. So they had lunch and dessert together. My daughter, they went to the saloon because they have, that's a place where they have desserts, right? So they went to the local saloon. My daughter got carded for the first time. She ordered a strawberry margarita, and she got carded for the first time. She said she had a drink at the festival, but they didn't card her. They didn't ask her for ID. Funny. She's like, yeah, I was bummed. Mom's like, didn't you have your tiara on that said 21 and your happy birthday? She said, no, I took it off already. Oh, you just look older, baby. I'm like, you got like 1,000 wristbands on each wrist, right? He probably just didn't want to go through it to find your wristband, that's all. Oh, yeah. But yesterday, 2 blocks down the road, my daughter got carded ordering a strawberry margarita. Because she's only been 21 a couple of weeks, so it's still fresh and new. And all her friends are turning 21 as well. One of them was already 21. One of them just turned 21. Now there's another one waiting in the wings to become 21. And then they're all party gals, right? They're pretty responsible girls. They all work or go to school or both. So I'm proud of each and every one of those kids. Just for sticking with it, right? Just for sticking with their parents and giving their parents a break, right? Because nowadays, it's hard to be a parent, but it's hard to be a kid. So, I feel for both of you. Yeah, baby. It's Totally Television Tuesday. I had planned to discuss some Twilight Zone, but for the love of me, I cannot find my Twilight Zone episodes. I believe they're out in my movie boxes. I've got like 5 big, giant boxes filled with DVDs out in my, in the nether regions. I've also got 3 or 4 boxes of VHS that I need to bring in and go through. My house is somewhat put back together. The couch usually sits in front of me like this, right? I angled it like this now, so it aims toward my vintage cabinet that's got my vintage RCA television in it. And it aims also at the other wall that has the, the smart TV. So I will be blowing out a VCR and a Betamax player today and cleaning the heads on both. I have head cleaners for both. Bringing in a rewinder so I do not have to use my machines to rewind. And I am going to be... Joey asked me when he was here, he says, hey, does this TV work? I said, actually, yeah, it does. So, there you go. I'm going to do that. It does have a tube issue. There's one of the tubes in it that's kind of burned out. So every once in a while, it gets what looks like a ghost image, right? So you get this little. So every once in a while, you get this little ghost image next to it, kind of a silhouette, right? That's the best way to describe what it looks like on the screen, just like that. So I can't really just go in and start yanking tubes out and testing them because I don't have a tester. I wish I did have one of those tabletop tube testers. Then I could just check them to see what's going on with each one. Otherwise, I have to contact somebody in the TV group and ask them, look, this is the picture of the back of my TV, all right? Which tube is going to cause that? And can I get that tube from someone, right? Can I get a set of tubes for this TV and just replace every single one at a time until I get it right? Right? That may be what I'll have to do, is just to catalog every single tube in there and then just order them all one at a time until I get it. Maybe I'll get it on the first one. You never know. I'm constantly surrounded by vintage stuff. Yeah, could you hold off on the vintage stuff? We've got quite enough. Yeah, thank you. I think that'll take care of it for now. In the meantime, mean, because it's mean. What does mean time mean? Greenwich Mean Time. 2100 Zulu. What the fuck does that mean? Zulu. I'll give you a Zulu. African time? What? The warriors are gonna pop out of the bushes with wooden masks on? Ooga booga? I don't get it. What's Zulu time? It's one of them African jungle pictures. That's what it is. Totally. Green Witch Mean Time. Rawr, I'm a Green Witch. Rawr. Yeah, totally, eh? I mean, like, totally. It's Television Tuesday. We got a couple of TV guides we're working on this week. One is from October 18 through the 24, and one is October 1 through 7. Today is the 30th of September. But we've got 6 more after this to get through this month. That's a lot of TV guides. So we're going to be working at them 2 a week this month, because October is pretty heavy. I'm hoping we have something for Halloween. I think we do. There's 29. 28th November 3rd, 27th through the November 2nd, and the 30th through the 5th. So I have to look at which one of these is 78. No, is this one a 77? That's it. This has got to be it. Come on, be a 77. 79. Darn it. I was hoping that I would get an October 30th from 1977, because that's the one. 76, of course. That's the Halloween where my father was in a motorcycle accident, and he was lying in his deathbed on Halloween. Yeah. On Halloween of 1977. So there you go. I'm gonna close this out here again and try my live chats to see if I've been missing anything. No, I haven't been missing anything. Every once in a while I gotta check because there's no comments coming in, but I see verified viewer numbers there, and I'm thinking, well, if somebody's watching and they're not saying anything, they're a fly on the wall. That's cool. Some of my irregulars are just flies on the wall, and that's cool. You're calling me a fly? Am I bugging? Yeah, you're bugging. You're bugging out, man. He's bugging out. He's bugging out. Get your boy. He's bugging out. Totally. I'm a Huygen. I'm a Mrs. O'Higgins. Mrs. O'Higgins. Oh, yeah. Totally. So, it's Viewer's Choice Month, so we'll give the viewers a chance to come up with a TV show and an album and what have you. We will be able to discuss Twilight Zone, at your leisure. Yeah, good old Rod Serling. What a kook. kook. He actually wrote the best screenplay, which most of that screenplay that he wrote, they used in the Planet of the Apes, the original movie. He wrote. They went through a few writers because the original book by Pierre Boulet, it was more modern. The apes, they were living more like we were living at the time, so everything was modern. They had vehicles and, you know, TVs and stuff. So it was pretty much a parallel of then humanity, right? And budget-wise, that did not work, right? Because they were going to have to spend a lot of budget on makeup. So they decided to do it the way they did, with kind of a prehistoric human that doesn't talk, and they kept it really simple with the buildings and the villages and stuff that they created for that. I like the fact that they used sprayed concrete, you know, and basically they just set up a wire frame and put guys inside holding up, I think they said plywood, just holding up plywood, and then they'd spray, and then they'd move on, and they'd spray, and they'd move on. And that was how they created those buildings, just little wire mesh domes, and then they would just spray concrete on them and paint them. Or maybe they just used colored concrete, I don't know. Everything looked pretty much the same. Yeah. Get your filthy paws off me, you damn dirty apes. Good morning, WW. How you doing? I'll drink to that, buddy. Well, since you said so, I got a bong hit ready here, so I'm ready to go. Ringers for all. Do not disturb. I'm disturbed enough already. So, totally. I don't know if JF is still here. You're covered. Totally. Totally. Oh man, this stuff is fucking diesel-y, gassy. A little more gassy. Oh man, I need coffee just to balance out my bronchioles. Geniasis. Geniasias. I don't know. I was looking around for my box of 8 tracks over here. Genianias. Genianiasis. I got the Genianiasis. Close that. Jenny Anais. What's her name? Jenny Anais. Sorry, I get stuck in a loop. I get stuck in one of those loops and I can't help it. Alright, let me take a look in this box here. Geniasis. Yes. Pink Floyd. Roy Orbison. Let's see, Captain Antonio. Dire Straits. Uriah Heep. There you go. Ginny Aniasis. That's her name. Genesis listens to Genesis. Now I can't even say Genesis. Genesis, that's it. Genesis. Blues Brothers, Kenny Rogers, John Curtis Mayfield, Dolly Parton. Boy, that was a hit. Let me just close this. Okay, there we go. And well, let me go look in the G and see if I get a Genesis. Jenny Anias. Let's see. Yeah, I got a little Genesis. There we go. Let me get my phones back on here. Hi, I'm back. I like both Peter Gabriel and Phil Collins. Genesis. This is Genesis. And then there were three. Genesis. 1978. Genesis. Totally. It's totally. Doesn't have an insert sleeve, just a regular sleeve. Say it isn't so. Say it's all right, Joe. Tom Banks, Phil Collins, Mike Rutherford. That's it, baby, and then number three. So there you go, from 1978, a Genesis album. There we go. We'll pop that over there into the slot. Oh yeah. That's Phil Collins, yeah. Yeah, right, it's Phil Collins, Mike Rutherford. And Tony Banks. Who was it? Was the Banks of the old Mississippi? The who's or the what? Yep, Tony Banks, Phil Collins, Mike Rutherford. That's it, baby. Let's see. Down and Out, Undertow, Ballad of Big, Snowbound, Burning Rope, Deep in the Mother, Many Too Many, Scenes from the Night's Dream, Say It's All Right, The Lady Lies, Follow You, Follow Me. There you go. Big hit. Big hit, big hit. Big hit, big hit. Alright, it's because the thing is all over me face. It's like, just keeps all over me face. I think it's egg. Do I got egg in my face? Yeah. I don't know why. He swallowed a fly. Perhaps he'll fry. Yeah. The first. And then there were three. It's in the title, like Back in Black, right? Totally. It's in the title. Shh. Stop saying that. Okay, so we have an album of the day. To Genesis. To Genesis. From Genesis. Now stop that. Now you're just making fun of me. Genesis. And then there were three full albums. Let's see if we can Genesis this up in here. Genesis. Okay, full album, and then there were three. Full 1970 HQ, full album, 53 minutes and 35 seconds. We're going to share that one. Yeah, because we got the Genesis going on. Watcher of the skies. No, I don't watch the skies no more, man. That shit's fucked up. I see a picture here of a 50-year Rocky Horror Picture Show reunion, and man, most of them look pretty fucked up. See, Tim Curry's still alive. I was just talking to my wife about a parallel universe when we were talking and watching Mysterious Island with The Rock, but it had Michael Caine in it. I'm telling her, look, he died like 15 years ago, and now all of a sudden I find him in movies here and there, and it's really starting to bug me, just like Tim Curry. He died about 15 or 20 years ago, and I keep finding him popping up and stuff, and it's really starting to bug me, okay? Because that's one way that I keep track of who's here and who's not, but also who should still be and who shouldn't be around, and where the timeline has gone a fucking skew, right? Because everything's all fucked up. It's been fucked up for the last 25, 26 years. It's just been going, and I'm sick of it. And I'm totally fucking sick of it. You know, that's why I hold on to real stuff. Because you can't change real stuff, man, from the past. You can only change digital stuff right now, unless you're time traveling. You know, Michael Caine's still alive. At least he was when I watched him in this movie, right? But I don't know if he's still alive now. But from the time that I believed that he had passed away, a bunch of other stuff occurred, right? Because things are weird. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's dementia. And if it is, don't tell me, right? I don't want to know. I want to believe my twisted little world. That's one of the things that's my resist the digital ID, right? That's one of the things that my family is instructed. If they come along one day and I'm gone and I'm in my own world and I start talking to them like we're in some kind of adventure and they become, in my mind, they become somebody else, let me go. Let me be there. Don't bring me back. Don't say, hey, no, it's me. Hey, no, really. I don't want to have that. I don't want to have that. I just don't. All right? I don't want to have to. That's what gets people who have dementia, is the shock of reality. Let me have my alternate universe, my own, because basically that's what it is. Dementia is a form of chronologic detached. It's all right. Somebody explain it, right? Because I know what it is, but I really lack the words. You know, he's 92. Okay, well, I guess he's still alive. Yeah, I remember him passing away, gosh, in his late 70s. You know, which is really, really weird. So there you go. Twisted, totally twisted world, totally twisted timeline. Yeah, Tim Curry is too, and he passed away. And then what was really weird is that the lead singer, flute player guy, I can never remember his fucking name, the little gnome dude that's always jumping around on stage, right? He had passed away a long time ago of this horrible illness, and then I started seeing stuff after that, and he had no illness. There was nothing wrong with him, and I'm like, well, what the fuck is going on here? You know? Yeah, so at some point, some algorithm or somebody's gonna see this stuff and go, oh shit, he's awake. They're gonna come get me. He's a seer. He can see. Oh my God, we gotta get rid of him. He knows too much about the original timeline. You know, and I do. I remember stuff that other people are going, what? 6G, what? So, yeah. Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. I was just looking at that the other day. It was live streaming, and I was like, no, it was in the movie list, and I'm like, no. It's a great movie, but I gotta I gotta be willing to commit to a lot of laughter. Because we used to sit and roast that fucking movie hardcore. Just making some notes here. Geniuses. That's what that link is. That's Geniuses, and then there were 3. Jaws: The Revenge. That's one of my favorite Michael Caine movies, because he's just Michael Caine tooling around in a plane in the islands, right? The gambler, the carouser. I like the fact that the original mother from Jaws came in to kind of wrap up that particular series. It's really cool. You know, of course they had to kill off Roy Scheider because he wasn't having any of it. He was still alive at that point. But he was having none of it. And the fact that they wrapped it up by the end of the 80s, they didn't take it into, another decade. Because 2 of the movies took place in the 70s, almost back to back, within a couple of years of each other. And then in the 80s, we got Jaws 3 3D, and of course The Revenge. But yeah, she was great in that. She was great all the way through that. And I mentioned to somebody a long time ago on the show, I think, that how early on how Spielberg chose his female leads. And if you look back at all of his movies, right back to Sugarland Express, blonde hair, strong female lead, really cute. And then you go to Jaws, strong female lead, really cute. Close Encounters, strong female lead, really cute. E.T., strong female lead, really cute. All of them are blonde. Almost every single one of them in every one of those movies goes braless in their shirts, right? He has a female type that he likes, and he dated all those girls, I believe, except for Goldie Hawn. I think he dated all of those right up and through number 2, Indiana Jones, The Temple of Doom, right? That female lead, blonde, cute. He married her, you know. Yeah, see, Michael Caine, he just kept popping up, and I kept going, whoa, this is weird, here he is again, you know. And every time that happens, or somebody passes away, and I'm like, how can you die twice? Live in an alternate universe, that's how. And it's not that I'm living in an alternate universe. It's that I am somehow connected mentally to my alternate selves. And I am picking up these signals every once in a while about something. And that's what gives me deja vu. That's what gives me these feelings like I've been there before, or this has happened before, or this person has died before. I think that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like here's my timeline, and here's all these other timelines. And like a radio dial, I'm zipping around through these different timelines, and every once in a while I link up with one just enough to kind of hear what's going on in my head, and then move on to the next. I think that's what it's like. That's the best way I can describe it, you know. I guess. I don't know. fucking weird. So I try not to think about it. I try not to dwell on it. I try not to, you know, have a giant cork board with yarn and pins and events all strung up and looking around and connecting. That would be a little much. But I feel sometimes like I need to do that. I've got a giant wall, one corkboard in my room next to my bed. That's all wall. It's like 5 feet by 7 feet. And it's just all corkboard, framed in wood. And I think I'm going to do that with the pins and the string and connections and stuff. But I think I'm going to do it with a world map, and I'm going to do it with viewers and irregulars and subscribers on my show. And I think I'm going to get their little pictures and icons and stuff and print them out and put them along the sides of a giant wall map, and then string these little things down to where they're at, right? And then have all of these little strings connecting things. That would be fun. Give people different colors. And tinfoil hat, yeah. My daughter, she dyes her hair, right? She likes the colors, the orange and the green and stuff. So for different times of the year, she'll dye her hair different colors. And she used to do this little piece of foil on this one little patch that she did. Now she does all of her hair. And I'm thinking, tinfoil hat? Yeah, I'm going to see my daughter in a tinfoil hat pretty soon. They just use the foil because it'll keeps everything away from everything else. But when you're doing your whole head, you don't need to put foil on. So I guess I don't get that. I don't get a blonde either. I told her, I want to see you blonde before you go. I want to see you in between colors. I'll let it go as blonde as possible. And she tried to do that so that she could do her roots and everything. It just didn't work. She couldn't wait. Well, good morning, everyone. I am Crazy Old Weird Bearded Guy. We've been here about a half an hour this morning. We are going to continue on this morning probably till about 8. I don't think we have any reason to get up and do anything this morning, any of us. So my wife will probably sleep in a little bit. Did I see True Detective Season 1, Matthew McConaughey, Woody Harrelson, True Detective? I don't think so. What year? Sounds like it's pretty recent. No, I don't think I've seen that. I'll look into it. Because I like looking. Shut up. He's a looker. He's a seeker. He's seeking and looking. He's a pretty crazy cookie. So we went to the mall and I got a battery put in my watch. So now my watch, she's a work. She's a go tick tick. So now Kennedy tells me the time again. And it's a 1980 Kennedy coin. I wish it was a 1976 or a but this coin was printed out, this particular coin, commemorative coin face, this was printed out in 1980. Stamped, if you will. But it's a great watch. My wife and daughter got me the band because my band was crappy. So now I wear my watch when I go out. Recent classic. Okay, well I'll look into that and check out that. I'll check out that stuff. Season 1. Did you check out that weird thing on Prime with Josh Brolin about that hole? I can't remember what the name of it is. I just can't remember what it is. But Josh Brolin does a lot of really weird, diverse stuff. He's a guy with range. I like Josh Brolin. He just popped up as a great kid actor, son of James Brolin. And yeah, hell yeah. Of course, James Brolin was famous for being married to Barbra Streisand. Right? Are they still married? I don't know. I don't know. The Matthew McConaughey character was a cop, and his whole apartment was covered with string and corkboard. I like it. I like it. I like it. I was just buzzing around through Hulu and looked and saw X-Files staring at me, and I'm thinking, Now for me, the first couple of seasons, or the first season especially, but the first few seasons just kick ass. The series kicks ass all the way through. They keep bringing it up, right? After 9/11, they got too close and they had to cancel the show. And then they did a couple of movies and then they brought it back and did it for a couple of short seasons. And then it went away, and I think they rebooted it again. But, wow. What a weird show, and it keeps popping up, right? And they keep working on what's happening in the world, right? And trying to tie it together with their crazy agenda. He was trying to solve the murders. You know, with me, it would just be tracking down people on my channel, you know, and putting pins in a location where they live, in the state or, you know, county or wherever, as close as possible. So I would want to have a pretty good size world map so that so that the United States would be pretty big, right? But you know, I'm ambitious, so I would want to have an entire world map there, because I have talked to people on occasion from different places on HBO. Okay, I don't have HBO. Next time Joey's here, we'll have him punch up HBO and watch it. He doesn't watch TV. It's hard to get Joey to watch. It's like trying to get my daughter to watch something. Kids of this generation, they don't watch a lot of TV. They watch videos. They watch stuff where they can just dismiss the commercials. You can't do that on regular TV. I don't like to watch commercial television. I like to watch streaming stuff where the commercials are only 15 seconds long to maybe a couple of minutes, but it's usually the same commercials over and over and over and over. And when they come at you like that, it's mentally easy to just dismiss them, you know, and not pay any attention to them. When commercials are coming at you from different places and different things, then you're like, well, what's that? Oh man. And then it keeps attacking your brain, and you can't just ignore it. I gotta heat up my coffee. Okay, well, good. I've got both those, so I'll check it out. I know everything crosses over now. It's like, you know, we have this great series and it's all done. We used it up. We ain't going anywhere else. Let's rent it to these people. Let's rent it to those, and let's spread the magic. I'll be right back. No, really. And then maybe we'll read some from the TV Guide. TV Guide's Genesis. So there you go. There you have it. There it is. So let's see. To recap, my daughter and Joey went to Reckless Records in Chicago and got some records. I'll get some Polaroids that they took and bring those out tonight so we can look at them tomorrow or on Thursday. Quite possibly on Throwback Thursday. I thought Matthew McConaughey already did the best acting of his career when he did Dazed and Confused, his first movie. All right. You know, it'd be really cool if you had a joint. All right. That was it, baby. He peaked right there. That's all, baby. I love in that movie how good of an actor Ben Affleck was in that, right? He peaked there too. I'm just joking about that's the best of his career. Anyway, Ben Affleck pissed off because he can't beat up those little freshmen, and he's got that paddle in his hands, right? And he swings that paddle, and when he swings, he turns, and he pops his ankle. He breaks his fucking ankle right there on camera. And finishes the scene and gets in his car and takes off with a broken fucking ankle. Not only that, he had to use his ankle, I believe, to drive the car out of there. And he did, and he finished that fucking scene. And that's the scene they used in the movie. And if you watch that fucking movie, Dazed and Confused, and watch Ben Affleck in that scene, he totally destroys his ankle and continues through the scene and doesn't drop a fucking beat. That's an actor. It's all downhill from there for Affleck. Affleck. No, really, man. Never seen the Dallas Buyers Club. Once again, got too much hype. Too many people were saying, oh, you gotta watch it. So I never watched it. I just never did. Nothing against the movie or any of the people in it. It got too much hype. And when too many people are telling me, dude, or too many people are saying, you gotta watch this. This is the best movie. This is the movie that's gonna make his career. Then I just walk away from it. And then I go watch something old. Because that's the way, since I was a kid, you tell me to do something and I'm not going to do it, you know. I like the way that WW can talk me into watching a movie rather than say, dude. Because once you say, dude, you got to watch, you have to. I'm like, I got a bus to catch. All right, I'm going in, cover me. And it's still too new. I try not to watch movies that are newer than 20 years old. And that's still kind of new. I may never watch that. I may never watch Lincoln Lawyer either, you know. There's a lot of movies I just may never see because I'm not going to get old enough for them to be old. Right? But that's okay, you know. Jared Leto, I can do without. I can do without him. Good for McConaughey. I've heard all about the film. I've seen enough about the film to know what the film is about, and to probably be able to write a similar film, right? But because it's a sad film, I probably will never watch it. I don't do sad films. I don't do heavy people dramas. I don't do horror where it's just blood and guts for the sake of blood and guts. I don't do action war movies for the sake of it. Well, let's go out there and win fun because, you know, it's the flag and the country, and I don't do that either. I put a cap on what I allow into my brain, because at some point I'm going to be gone, and when I leave here, I want to leave with as many happy thoughts as possible. So I try to watch stuff that makes me feel good. That's it. I used to watch a lot of that stuff. 20 years ago, I would have watched the shit out of all of those films. Now, not so much. And it's only because I am trying to filter what I let into my psyche, right? Oh, he's too good to watch. I just, I don't want to tarnish my soul any more than it already is. When I leave, I want to go to a happy place. And if the happy place is reliving memories, I want to have as many good memories as possible. And if memories are movies too, then same thing. Let's say you die, and in that millisecond between life and death, you live 1,000 years. And you can live like in a dream world, however you want to live. Let's say that you were so into movies that you just went through and went through random parts of movies through 1,000 years, right? What movies would you want to run through? Would you be run from Aliens and Jason, or would you be, fucking Mary Poppins? Mary Poppins. Yeah. Sad films. Sad films are all... See, I'm a very depressed person, and those things are like drinking beer for me. I will just get sad and depressed. I will find myself in those things, and it will take me down. So, no, I'm screwed up enough already. I don't need to add to the damage. I don't need to add to the trauma. I'm coming back anyway. Man, if I thought there was an afterlife, or if I was going to be reincarnated, I'd fucking end it all right now, right? I gotta go through this again? Oh, fuck. No, thank you. No. Why do I care? Because whether I gotta live with it or die with it, I want it to be as positive as possible. That's all. That's it. For some people, the sad is positive. Turns into a positive. For some people, that gory stuff is fun and positive. That's fine. For me, yeah, fuzzy bunnies and flowers and rainbows. That's what I want to go with. I've just had enough bullshit and torture in my own life that I just try to avoid it. Movies for me are an escape, right? And it's like listening to sad music makes me feel better. Now, me too. Sad songs make me feel sad. I'm a really, I mean, literally from the time I was a kid, depression, insomnia, social anxiety, just the constant wonderment of who the fuck am I? Why am I treated different? And why does everybody look at me like I'm a fucking three-headed monkey, right? So I use movies and entertainment as a full-blown escape, which means if I'm feeling sad, I want to go and feel as happy as fuck. I want to feel like I'm on laughing gas, right? Keep that crazy, sad shit away from me. I can listen to blues anytime, but when I'm sad, I don't usually do external stimuli when I'm sad. If I'm really sad, I'll just go to sleep, because I know that when I wake up, it can be totally different. My dad and I used to watch horror movies all the time, and he would laugh the whole time. Yeah, I love to watch horror films back when they were funny, and now there's just so much gore for the sake of gore. I mean, you used to be able to watch a horror film and never see any blood, and it was scary as fuck, right? A little bit of blood at the end for dramatic effect, but I mean, come on. Nowadays, it's just so, let's get it technically right. Let's show every single vein and artery and the the throat. It will cut that thing open and just make it, right? And I'm like, it's too real now, you know? And that shit stays in your brain, right? And I just, at least it does with me. Because when I make an emotional connection to something, that shit's hardwired into me from then on. Kurt Cobain used to say, I miss the comfort in being sad. Francis Farmer will have revenge on Seattle. Francis Farmer. That's Jessica Lange movie that she did, Francis Farmer. And Jessica Lange portrayed her being told that she was crazy because she wanted certain things. She didn't want to be told, you're a woman, you can't do that, right? So she wanted certain things. She wanted to be able to do certain things. And they had her deemed insane and locked her up and eventually lobotomized her, right? Is that what we're talking about? I think that's what we're talking about. Great movie. I can't remember what it's called. Maybe it's just called Francis Farmer. I don't know. But, yeah, so I just try to avoid stuff that's going to stick in my psyche. That's all, you know. It's nothing on people who like that stuff, because I used to really be into that stuff 10, 20 years ago. And I just started to wean myself off of it. Drugstore Cowboy. Drugstore Cowboy. I think I have Drugstore Cowboy. Don't I have? Let me check. This is my laser disc copy of Drugstore Cowboy in here. I haven't seen it, gosh, I haven't seen this probably since HBO back in the 80s, right? Totally. 1989. Artwork, sorry. There's a lot of dates here. This is great. It's great. Totally great. I gotta get more of these things here so I can stack up more. Right? Like I need a rack so I can just stack them. Hang them all on a rack. Drugstore Cowboy. I don't remember this movie too much. I really don't. Oh, I don't. Genesis and the Drugstore Cowboy. Jenny Aniasis. That's the name of the song Francis Farmer will have for revenge on Seattle off the retro Otero album, the last Nirvana album. I see. Heather Graham. Wow, she must be young in this. Oh yeah, she is. Totally. And look, there's Jenny Aniasis. She's really young. Kelly Lynch. Kelly Lynch. Smelly Kelly Lynch. Smelly because she's got a big nose, and boy, can she smell? She's like the smelliest. She's got one hell of a smeller. Shut up. Nice nose. Shut up. We used to have funny nicknames for the people around us, you know. Skeeter Peter and Maria Tortilla, Scary Mary, Smelly Kelly. Yep. Dark Mark, he was black. Just kidding. Yeah, man, I'm like, you know, what kind of Kelly Lynch is so hot. Matt Dillon is too. Love Matt Dillon too. He's hot. Great movie. William S. Burroughs is play an old junkie. Ooh. An old junkie. I like old junkies. Yeah. Because they're like the guys who collect the junk, right? Like Fred Sanford, he was an old junkie. That's Junker? I thought that was an old car. I thought that was a trip around the country to sell some. No, that's a junket. Oh, I thought that was a Chinese boat. No, that's a junk. Well, I thought that was the stuff that the guy collects. Oh, really? Stop that. It's 6 o'clock. It's time to rock. I'm all tangled up here. Here's a TV guide. This is a TV guide. This one here is from 1975. All right, here we go. TV's Sex Crisis. And this is from October 18 through 24. We're working on October. We've got about 8 October TV guides to get through. So we're going to do a couple a week until we get there. Let's see. Trayton, oh man, look, we looked, let's count cigarette ads. All right, here's one. Dawn cigarettes, right? Can you wash dishes with Dawn and then smoke Dawn and then listen to Dawn on the radio at the same time? That would just be crazy. Shut up. Stop doing that. What? The stupid dad jokes. Come on. Enough of that. Here we go. Here's another. Oh, that's not it. This is it. 333. Hit camera 3. That's a cool looking pack of cigarettes. I would smoke those just because they look cool. So that's 2, right? Jenny Anias's. Ooh, and we've got some scotch. Ballantine's scotch, right? Look at that ad right there for scotch. Doesn't that just make you want to take a shot? Nice crystal glasses with ice. Put that shit in a decanter, man. All right. So that's 1 and 2. That's 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Here's 3 on the cigarette ads. Here we go. What are these? Benson and Hedges 100s. I think I smoked those before at a casino. It's like the only thing the machine had. Some Benson and Hedges. Let's see. Oh, Vantage. Look at that. There's 4. There's Vantage. Is that number 4? Yeah, Tony Orlando and Dawn. Remember, it was just Dawn. And then Tony Orlando decided he wanted to be first. So they changed the name of the band to Tony Orlando and Dawn. And he made the girls Dawn. But originally the band was named Dawn. That's it. So I think we're at 5 on the cigarette ads and 1 on the booze. And then if we look at Tuesday evening, where is it? There is 1 cigarette ad in the middle. So we got 5 here. Why Trayton is best. Because they're cigarettes, of course. So that's 5. And there's always 7, at least 7. They don't usually put them in the middle, but there's almost always 7 or more. In fact, I haven't seen a TV guide where they didn't have 7, at least 7 tobacco ads. Every once in a while they'll throw in chewing tobacco. Tie a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree. If you still want me. Ellen and M. What is an Ellen and M? But they showed this great outdoor scene, like, if you're outdoors, this is what you want. Or like, if you smoke cigarettes, you're gonna go out and want to be out. It's gonna make you feel like you're out. Give me a break, right? So what's that? 6? It's fucking 6. Fucking A. And then 7 right there. There's 7 Viceroys. Because all the racers smoke Viceroys, right? because I'd never smoke a boring cigarette. I never would smoke a boring cigarette. I want my cigarette to pop and snap and crackle like cereal. So here's number 8. We got a badass TV guide now because we got 8 ads for cigarettes. That's badass right there. Newports. You gotta have Newports, right? Totally. So if we go to Tuesday evening, 7:30 Hollywood Squares. Here we go. You ready? All right, Tuesday, October 21, 1975, 7:30 p.m. Britt Eklund, Hollywood Squares. Michael Landon, Roddy McDowell, John Davison, Dennis Weaver, Rosemary, George Goebel, Suzanne Plachette, and Paul Lynn. All right. So first of all, we got Michael Landon and Roddy McDowell and Dennis Weaver. All right. Then we got Britt Eklund and Rosemary and Suzanne Plachette. Right. Britt Eklund. I believe. I don't know who Britt Eklund is. I was thinking Brett, but Britt. I don't know who Britt is. But I mean, come on. Think of Michael Landon, Roddy McDowell, and Dennis Weaver. Wow. My dad used to smoke Cools. Those were cigarettes that we used to steal from parents back in the 80s. We used to get a lot of our first cigarettes of the day from somebody's parent. And they would smoke some weird shit. One of my friend's parents smoked Salem's and Salem Lights and that kind of shit, and that was nasty. Another friend's parents, mothers, they smoked Moore 100s, those big long brown cigarettes. Moore Menthol Light 100s were horrible. They were nasty. I smoked so many different kinds of cigarettes growing up because it was what the parents smoked. So it was the cigarette that you got, right? Just some nasty shit. One of my best friends, his stepfather smoked Camel non-filters, which is why I have a pack of Camel non-filters on my desk. And he also smoked my friend also smoked Pall Mall non-filters from like the age of 13, right? Jeez, that's crazy shit. It's fucking crazy shit, man. So we're in 1995 here in this TV guide, TV's Sex Crisis. And we're at 8 o'clock. And 8 o'clock, we've got Happy Days. It's a brand new episode. The boys plan to challenge a 10 p.m. curfew. Oh, that's horrible. Moving on. Alright, moving on. It's got Claude Akins and Frank Converse in it. And there are a couple of truck drivers that just drive in a truck together and adventures. And it's just great. And it's just a great 1 or 2 season show that just popped up and went away. But it was a great vehicle for Claude Akins and Frank Converse. Frank Converse is one of those characters, that face and voice. Yeah, if you get a chance, watch Moving On. Roku, perhaps Prime. I know I watched all of it on Roku. Rivals of Sherlock Holmes. Ooh. Good Times. This is when Good Times was opposite Happy Days. And it was doing well the first season or 2, but as soon as A got more than dynamite, they moved it. They moved it to a different time. They moved Good Times to a different time because they couldn't compete with A. Also, at 8, we've got Space, 1999, science fiction. And that is still running prime time. And that's crazy. At 8:30, Welcome Back, Kotter. There you go. Juan is not going to be in school tomorrow because he will be feeling very sick tomorrow. Signed, Epstein's mother. All right. Joe and Sons is a comedy show that I've never heard of before. Doris Roberts. Richard Castellano. Really? Richard Castellano. I wonder if he's related to Coach. Florence Stanley. Well, there's no really anybody there of any consequence. At 9, we've got Rookies. Rookies. Winston Selects. I don't recall Winston Selects there. Fawn Story. Isn't that sweet? Tomorrow at 4 p.m. Fawn Story. It's an after-school, ABC after-school special. Here it is. And it's got Christy McNichol and a kangaroo. Oh, it's not a kangaroo. It's a fawn, of course. But it looks like a frickin' roo. And then there's that kid. That kid with the glasses and the little punk. That little punk. I don't remember his name. But that little punk. A deer challenges everything for Jenna and Toby. And when Lady comes into your life, you'll never forget her. Aww. That's just, I think I threw up in my mouth a little. There you go. And here is an amazing new wrist radio. Oh, wow, I want one of those, man. Can I get that? Can I get the wrist radio? Lightweight. Only weighs 6 ounces. That is bitchin'. Have you ever held 6 ounces of weed in your hand? That's a lot. that's how I compare measurements, right? Does it feel like an eighth of weed or a quarter of weed? I used to eyeball weed. Yeah, that's a quarter. They put it on the skin. I go, wow, man, that's pretty good. That's like within a quarter gram there. That's pretty good. Oh my God, this one's right on the nose. So I used to help my parents weigh out weed when I was a little kid. I'd put together the preliminary bags and set them there, and then they'd put them on the scale, and then put some in or take some out to make it perfect. Yeah, I was pretty good at that. Yeah. Police Story. Wow. A Scent of Man documentary. The origin and development of mathematics. Development. Yeah. Ooh. She was the Bond girl, the man with the golden gun. Who, Christy McNichol? Or Epstein's mother? All right. Marcus Welby is on at 10, along with Joe Forrester, crime drama. Lloyd Bridges. Well, Lloyd Bridges, wow. In my day, we didn't have toys. We used our shoes. Let's see. Monty Python's Flying Circus, also at 10. Beacon Hill. Albert Stratton. Chris Sarandon. Kitty Wynn. Okay, I'll pass on that. And then the usual late night stuff, culminating at 11:30 with Johnny Carson, horticulturist Thalassus Crusoe. Thalassus. Or maybe it's Thalasus. Names, right? Maybe she was a Bond girl. Salacious. And at 1, Tom Snyder has Doug Henning, the illusionist. I'm Doug Henning, the illusionist. I don't have my teeth in, so I can't do the full Doug Henning. And that takes us into tomorrow morning. Let's take a look at this other TV guide while we got time here. Oh, great. I'm going to have to heat that up here and get a bong hit ready. So, the man with the golden coffee cup. And of course, this coffee cup today again says, I'm a ray of fucking sunshine. Because I am. I'm going to heat up my cup. And I'll be back in a second. And then it'll be bingers for all, right? Yeah, baby. That's all there is, yeah. That's all she wrote, baby. Oi. You know what I don't have is I don't have a Britt Eklund. Ah, okay, that's who Britt Eklund was, right? Because it ain't Eileen Brennan, I'm telling you that. Britt Eklund. I said Brit, and I mean Britt Reed. And I do mean Britt Reed. Oh wait, no, that's the Green Hornet, sorry. Not Britt Reed. Right, Brett Michaels, that's it. Brett Michaels is the one who I was thinking of. She's on a lot of game shows. She is, or was, the wife of Jack Klugman. Yeah, Brett Michaels. Totally. I think that's where I was thinking, yeah. Don't you know? Yeah. Okay, back to this TV. Well, I'm going to drink this while it's hot. Oh, that's nice. Last night I put my teeth in just to eat dinner. I put them in, made dinner, ate. They went all askew because I didn't have them in long enough for them to really set. And I couldn't bite comfortably after that, so I just took them out. I was like, you know what? That sore spot was bugging me. I'm thinking that little tiny, itty-bitty little sore spot that keeps rubbing, I think eventually a little piece of bone is going to wiggle its way out. At least I hope something gives. Because that's the only thing holding me up at this point from wearing them all the time. So yeah, there you go. Let's bong hit. That's what we were doing. We were going to get some more weed out. The weed we are doing this week is Rising Sun. It's a hybrid, a sativa. I believe it's a sativa dominant hybrid. And it tests at 33.3 THC. Arr. Yeah, baby. Good stuff. Good stuff. And it smells really good, and it's got a really strong taste and bite. And it's really fucking stony because of that sativa dominance, right? So it's a good eyeball buzz. You know, because it really gets you right there in the eye. Gets you right in the eyeballs. It's good, creative weed. In fact, last night, before I went to bed, I put together a playlist on my channel of my original videos. So I think it's like 15 videos. 15 original things that I put together music videos and trailers and a couple of little documentary type things. So that's like first on my list of playlists now. And I'm going to be creating new content over the winter here and try to get the new year started off with a whole lot of stuff. Granted, my health sucks, so I have to work through that every day before I can get to where I want to do something. If it wasn't for my wife and daughter, I probably would just sit around. Sweet! But I don't. I got to get up and do stuff. Last night we were laying on the couch, and my wife said, "Are we going to deflate Joey's bed?" My music. Music videos from me sitting playing the guitar. That music. I'm going to put together a playlist of videos and shorts from concerts I went to. I haven't put a lot of those together since we first started going to concerts. It just got too difficult to go to a concert, upload the video onto my computer, edit it into a nice music video, and then put it on the channel. So I stopped doing it. My daughter records just about every concert she goes to. So I do have hours and hours and hours of footage to look through. Her computer's full. So I'm going to get a hard drive and give it to her and say, okay, upload all of your videos onto this hard drive, and then I'm going to get an Apple translator thing so that I can then take those videos, run them through that, and turn them into videos that I can watch, right? At least I think that's how it works. So yeah, because I've tried to download stuff from my iPhone onto my regular computer, my PC, and it just disappears. It becomes just a ghost file, and I can't play it. There's nothing there. There's nothing. So, yeah. Every once in a while, I get a wild hair, and I'll turn on cameras and play a song. At least I used to, and record it, and then kind of make it a little video. The one that I did not put on there, which I should probably do that now, is Geniasis. Geniasis, my channel. I go to my channel, my music video for Let's Go to the Movies. I don't think I put that one on there. Let me view the playlist just to be sure. And no, it's not in there. So I'm going to go here and search for it. And there it is, and then we'll save it to playlist, my original videos, and now that has been added. Yeah, the next one I'll put together will be a playlist of concerts that we went to. I told my daughter that as soon as she has a chance, we need to sit down and update the concert list, because in 2021 she got to go to see Harry Styles at the Forum, and that was her graduation gift from high school, I believe. No. Yes, that was her graduation gift. No. It was junior high, I think. Or a birthday or something. I can't remember. I think it was a birthday. So she got this, we got her these tickets to go see Harry Styles, and her and Mom went in. I was going to go in, but I didn't get my COVID thing back. So that was her first concert. After that, she saw him again and again in the 1975 and a bunch of other bands. We saw Lucas Nelson. So we're going to go through and we're going to, because since then, up to now, she has seen so many shows and so many bands that we really need to catalog it all. And then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to make a video of concerts that we've gone to, because I think it would be really neat to kind of catalog and highlight her adventures, because man, she has seen a lot of shows in a short couple of years since the fall of 2021, seeing 2 shows that fall and then coming back and seeing a show like in February of 2022, and then just boom, 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 you know. Crazy? Yeah, totally crazy. Totally fucking crazy, man. So, I'm jazzed. So we're going to do that, and then at some point I'll be getting all the video from her. I used to do that. I used to get a lot of video files from her, and she'd transfer them over onto a thumb drive and give them to me, and I'd boot them up, and then I'd make a little video. And it got really difficult because I was working on so much and doing live and going to work and yada yada yada, doing a lot of live stuff. Yeah, it's crazy, crazy stuff. I'm still working on the bong hit here, and I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to do original content. And so I made, like a half dozen music videos and some documentary style stuff, and then got into the live stuff and went crazy and just kind of bouncing around. I'm back to the music again, so I'm going to be probably trying to develop a new song to do a video for. One about the past. And come up with some kind of new documentary, some kind of real life documentary about a period or event or something from my past. As well, I keep trying to figure out what kind of fictional documentary I want to do. Some fictional event from my past that we want to create and then document, and then age it so that it looks like it's a documentary made in the 80s about something that happened in the 70s, and do some interviews and black and white and weird camera stuff, because I'm watching these older documentaries with a lot of older footage, and I see this older footage and I'm thinking, I have cameras that can do that can make that ghost. You point it at a light, you do this, right? And that where the light was is there's this trail on the screen. I've got cameras that do that, right? I got cameras I can switch to black and white. I've got old, like studio style camcorders from back in the day. The mobile cameras, video cameras. Not even the ones you can't even put tape into these cameras. It has to have a cable going to an actual recorder, and then that has to have power, and it's got to have all of this and that. Crazy stuff. So I'm gonna at some point use that stuff, right, and record people through those older cameras, so that when I do the documentaries and do the interviews and stuff, it really has that aged quality, because I can even age it further, right? Yeah, that sounds like fun, huh? So what I'll probably do is come up with not really a synopsis, but kind of a first draft on an idea, right? I'm thinking, now this goes right back to what we were talking about with horror movies and drama and violence and scary stuff. A lot of that weird shit happened when I was young. I hate when my email just died. I just make a new account. Oh, damn it. I hate that. Yep. There was enough weird shit going on in my childhood, you know, that I can fall back on that alone. So I think we might do some scary event, fictional event, based loosely around my past. And I can interview people from my past, my age, and make them like parents and grandparents of people involved in something that happened in the 70s, and then interview people about how, you know, the age we would have been, right? Resist the digital ID. I already had mine implanted. I had implanted right underneath my scrotum, just below my left testicle, and that they could manage my, they could monitor my sperm output. Yeah, Halloween is coming soon. Oh wait, my digital ID. I'm coming soon. Digital IDs. I can't wait, man. I can't wait, and then I'll know where all the idiots are. Yep. I'm going to get one of those scanner detector things, and then I'll know where everybody else is. And then I'll know when they're coming, because I'm going to move up into the mountains, get a little compound, get a manifesto. Have you seen The Wicker Man, 1973? Yes. Yes, I have. In fact, that's one that I just saw recently, because it's an older movie. And I saw that one and watched that one. And that one's pretty heavy. I'll probably never watch it again, because it was a really good movie, and I got an emotional connection to it, so I don't have to watch that one again. That was a good one. The end of the original Jaws movie, that's a really heavy ending. When Quinn finally gets it, he gets it and he gets torn up. There's a lot of blood. That kind of turns me off from watching that particular part of that movie over and over and over again. The other stuff is all pretty hokey and cheesy, but that's a pretty good one because Robert Shaw is really, really good. But yeah, there are some older movies where I can watch 100,000 times that are scary, because they're back then scary. They're not like today's scary. Today's scary movies are just fucking like, oh, that's too real. That's gonna give me nightmares forever. So yeah, Wicker Man, seen it. Probably don't need to see it again because that was pretty freaky. Yeah, I love Christopher Lee. He is like the quintessential scary guy, you know. Christopher Lee, that guy from Star Wars, what the hell was his name? Vincent Price too. Yeah, totally, just great old scary guy faces. Yeah, okay, I got a bong in here, I'm going in, cover me. Have I seen The White Zombie with Bela Lugosi? Oh, you know what? I don't think I have seen that in like forever. When I was a kid, of course I had insomnia, so I would stay up late and watch all kinds of movies, and I would catch movies like just after they started, or halfway through, or just see the end, or just the middle. So I saw a lot of crazy stuff growing up. Movies that still stick with me to this day, that I've only seen once, but because I missed the opening, I have no idea what the movie was, right? And they just say, okay, back to Movies Till Dawn, and then you're back, and they never, re-announce to you what the movie is that late at night. So all right, bong hit going in. Who had the word zombie? What organization had the word zombie, patented, or what do they call, copywritten, so nobody else could use the word zombie for quite a while? Does anybody know who had that word copywritten for the longest time? Anyone? Anyone? Oh, that was another good bong hit, man. Yeah, baby. Anybody? Zombie? Anybody? And I think it's right around the time that White Zombie, because after that, you don't see the word zombie anywhere in cinema. And Rob Zombie. No, way before Rob Zombie. That's funny, though. Another guy that, not really into his music or his movies. Nepotism. This is my wife. I'm gonna put her in everything. He did some okay movies, but I'm not gonna get down and say, oh gosh, he's like the god of horror, whatever. Because you can't outdo what's already been done. All you can do is copy it, right? Zob Rombi. I can take it or leave it. I'll probably leave it. So not Rob Zombie, that's one. You got two more guesses while I fiddle around with getting another bong hit together. Because we're, halfway through the second hour. House of 1,000 Corpses. That's nice. There you go. Yeah, I mean, there are some good movies, but no, it was one of those. Hell's Rejects. Yep, there's another good one, and there's one more. There's three in Hell's Rejects, right? There's a trilogy. Because I've seen these movies. They just, when it's just gore for the sake of gore, blood, explosions of heads, and you know what? It loses me. It does. I mean, I used to go, oh my god, dude, check it out, man, that's fucking awesome. And now it's like, now they just make shit too real, so I stay away from that. No, I think it was Marvel or DC. I think it was DC. Maybe it was Marvel. It was probably DC. They're not great. Devil's Rejects, Hell's Rejects, right? Yeah. I believe it was DC who had the word zombie copywritten for decades, so nobody could use it. Every once in a while somebody would, and they'd, hey, you can't do that. Like the Happy Birthday song. If you sang Happy Birthday that way with those lyrics on TV at any time or in the movies, you had to pay the copyright infringement on that song because these ladies way back 100 years before had it copywritten, and then their families kept update on that copyright. It's DC Comics, I believe. Yeah, I think it was. Rob Zombie's Halloween was pretty good. I like that one. Once again, something I can't watch a lot of. I like the kid. I like who they got to play the doctor. The kid especially, because if you look at that kid and then look at pictures of me at that age, it's like a doppelganger. It's scary. And then if you think about where I was mentally at the same age, it's really scary to think that I really could have just fucking been a twisted little monkey and just gone, eh. It would have been real easy because of the bullying. And I often had thoughts of taking a baseball bat and beating the brains out of a bully. Seriously. So when I saw that scene, and that I could only watch once. When I watched that movie, and then I'm like, okay, that's enough. I watched that scene where he caught that kid in the woods and beat the fucking hell out of him, right? And then killed his mother, right? I'm like, that could have been me. That could have been me, because there was so many times when I was just bullied to the point of just fucking just tears. I mean, hot, brutal fucking tears, where you actually do see red, you know. Pardon me. You do see red when you get so pissed off and so angry. And I saw red so many times, and it was sheer willpower that kept me from just freaking the fuck out. Every once in a while, it would pop out. And I remember once I let it loose on my father when I was young. I was like in the 5th or 6th grade or something, right? And it had to be you. And he and my brother were one of the horseplay, monkeying around on the couch, right? Because they were good Charlie horse. Oh, Charlie horse, Charlie horse. And then pretty soon they're wrestling around. So they're doing this, and they pulled me over and got me involved, and I was never really into that stuff. And so I, you know, pushed around and pushed back, and pretty soon I'm on my father, on top of him, just fucking swinging like I'm gonna kill him, right? And he had to push me off, threw me away, you know, and told me that I needed to know when to and I didn't have any stop. I didn't have an off button. Once I was going, I was full bore. And I did that with my brother once too, where he kept fucking with me and fucking with me and fucking, and I just turned around and went and hit him right square in the fucking nose, bloodied his nose, and I got in trouble over it, you know, and I didn't want to fucking do that. I just wanted to be left alone. I just didn't want to be bullied. And I knew that if I was in school one day and somebody was going to bully me, they were going to have to pull me off of whoever it was, because I would be trying to kill them. It had to be you, yes. And so I really had to. There was, like in the 7th grade, I was bullied so much, I was going to school and trying really hard not to cry during the day. Was trying really hard not to just freak out on people and give them what they wanted, because that's what they wanted. They were trying to get a rise out of me, and I was trying really hard not to give them that. I would just ignore them, take the notes off my back, you know, get smacked in the back of the head and pick my hat up, put it back on, pick up my books off the ground when somebody walks by and smacks them, you know, open your locker and somebody slams it shut. So I really, really had to try. And I totally saw myself at the end of the 7th grade, my 2nd or 3rd school that year. And the bullying was just relentless. And I had only been there, it was like, I checked in, it was like 8 or 9 weeks to the end of the school year. And I had 6 weeks to go at some point, and I just said, fuck it, and I stopped going. And I know in my heart of hearts that had I kept going, I would have gotten into some serious fucking violent trouble, because they were just haranguing me, something fierce, right? Every single class, there was somebody. It was either the teachers or the kids or all of them. And I was just sick of it. And I knew that I was going to get in trouble. I knew I was going to wind up getting hauled off and sent to Kellogg psychiatric place nearby, where a lot of crazy kids were getting sent. I knew I was going to get hooked up on Ritalin or something, because I saw the writing on the wall. I wasn't stupid. I was just angry, you know. And damn it, you know, when I look back at that time period, it was all the adults. It was the adults that had the opportunity to step up and just show some compassion and some kindness. And they started it, you know. They started it. And the kids were just like, hey, the teacher's doing it, let's do it too. It was horrible. The physical education, PE teachers, they were the worst. Because I didn't want to do any of that shit, you know. You're either athletic or you're not, and I was not athletic. I did not want to do that stuff. I could do that stuff. I did not care to, you know. And there should have been some other option. And a lot of times I would just choose to not participate. No, I'm not going to dress out, and I'm not going to participate. I'll be on the bench. Well, you know what? Fucking try to be nice. If I try to dress out, I got fucking asshole kids in the locker room, you know, bullying me, right? Belittling me, treating me like shit. And then there's you. You're an asshole. Fuck you. I just take it. I'll take my F and I'll go sit the fuck down. What is an F gonna do to me, right? Is it the end of the world if I get a fucking F in PE? Let me see. No. Fuck physical education in PE. Well, you have to do it. It's part of the curriculum, and the law says, fuck you and fuck your law. The law is not me. It wasn't written for me. It was written for the masses, and I'm not the masses. It's written for people who have no judgment. That's what laws are written for. People who cannot judge themselves and regulate, self-regulation. People who don't have that. For people who have that, they have no need of laws, right? Because we don't fucking do shit to hurt people. Period. I got a hand waving at me. What's going on, man? You're scaring me. Did somebody just pop up? I'm just gonna pop in my live chat again there. It had to be hands. Totally, eh? Okay, I'm gonna do this bong hit, I swear. It's coming. Arr, 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 giggity, giggity, giggity. Look, Mom, he's playing the water flute. That's it, baby. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Geniasis. 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 Drugstore Cowboys. A movie we were talking about this morning. Back to Matt Dillon. There's a Matt Dillon movie here, Over the Edge. He's driving that truck there, that Ford Bronco. Over the Edge from 1979. Never made it into the theaters. It tested. The kids went crazy. It was too violent. They thought, we can't put this... What are kids going to think when we put this violent movie into the theaters and kids watch it? What kind of ideas are we going to give them? They did not release it in the theaters. Pardon me. They didn't even release it onto video for a while. It waited, and then they finally released it onto video and put it on HBO, on TV, that kind of shit. So you could see it, right, on pay-per-view, or those pay channels, those pay cable channels. Over the Edge was pretty heavy. They released a soundtrack album for it, and it didn't sell much because the movie didn't hit the theaters. Nobody knew about the movie, so nobody really understood what the soundtrack was all about. Just great 80s song, Van Halen, Cheap Trick, Cars, just great fucking music. just wasted. Just wasted, right? But it was a great first vehicle for Matt Dillon. He gets shot in it, he dies, right? Let's do it for Johnny kind of stuff. It's a great fucking movie. If you get a chance, watch Over the Edge. Because that's the movie that I remember really first seeing Matt Dillon, right? I mean, really, that, and then Over the Edge. I mean, Over the Edge, and then The Outsiders, right? That's another great one. There was that period where he was just knocking it out, man. He was just killing it. Totally. Yeah, Matt Dillon, one of my favorite kid actors from back then. My favorite of all time childhood actors who is still working to this day and still killing it is Rorschach, right? Jackie Earle Haley from The Bad News Bears. The Bad News Bears, when he played Kelly Leak, the Harley Davidson motorcycle riding kid who smokes cigarettes and flicks them at adults and does donuts on the baseball field, right? Kelly Leak, right? One of my heroes growing up, because he was like, fuck you, what are you going to do to me? You know, I'm a kid, you know. Maybe if you do better as an adult, I won't be a fuck you kid. And that's the way it was. And he was great. And he had already been acting for the longest time, right? Just doing all kinds of great stuff. And he just continued on and continued on and continued on, doing all kinds of great little parts here and there. Another one of my favorite movies is Damnation Alley with George Peppard and Jan Michael Vincent and Jackie Earle Haley as a kid that they find along the way in a post-apocalyptic America after nuclear war, and they find this kid hiding out and take him on the journey with them. Did you see him in the movie Saint of Fort Washington? Matt Dillon and Danny Glover. The Saint of Fort Washington. No, I don't think I have ever seen or heard of that one. I'll have to check it out. I will totally check it out if I can manage it. Yeah, my schedule is backed up. I have so many things waiting. It's mainly because of my sleep habits are so screwed up. I only eat I only eat like one meal a day. I have a little soft cereal in the morning for breakfast, 2 homeless guys, a buddy movie drum. Okay, I'll have to check that out. But I only have like really one big meal, and then it's a little bit of dessert after that. So I don't really usually have a lot of energy for stuff. So I get tired easily. As soon as I can get my mouth figured out, then I'll be able to wear my teeth for longer periods and squeeze in more meals. Every once in a while I get 2 meals with my teeth in because I can wear them that long. But sometimes I eat, and it's right after I eat they just kind of go a little wonky and I gotta pull them out, or they're just uncomfortable and then they feel weird and I can't get them straight, and then it gives me a headache. You know, it's a bummer. It's a bummer. I've had more trouble. You know, believe me, just take care of your teeth. That's all you gotta do. There's a educational film on my channel. Take care of your teeth. True dat. Now I just have to take care of my gums, because that's important too. So I have to keep my gums in good condition. So Go from brushing your teeth to brushing your gums. You know, that's just the way it is, baby. So this is Totally Television Tuesday today on the show. So we've just been kind of talking about TV as it comes up. It is the last Totally Television Tuesday of Viewers' Choice Month. Next month, hopefully, I will get things organized to get back on schedule. And we will have shows to talk about. We'll have things and actual physical representations of TV shows and whatnot. Sometimes a trailer or a promo. Something from the TV guide. Every once in a while, what we're talking about actually lines up with what's in the TV guide, and usually it's serendipity because I don't plan that kind of stuff. That's not a bad idea. I've got a little meat in the freezer, and tacos don't sound bad at all, you know. Of course, when I make them at home here, they're called whitey tacos. When my wife makes them, they're just called tacos. Figure that one out. But God winks. Is that what a taco is? A God winking? Yeah, baby. I'll take that. I believe in God now. I've been converted. Yeah. Abalubi. Thank you, Jeebas. Oh, look. An empty bowl. And some weed to put in it. Ain't that something? I like tacos and quesadillas. Yes, I'm a quesadilla man myself. My wife makes quesadillas. So that is a quesadilla with birria meat chopped up into it. And then if you want, you dip it in the birria sauce and then fry it like that on the outside. And that's really, really good. We have birria frozen from my daughter's birthday a couple of weeks ago. And my daughter was like, we still have some? Huh? So, like a prairie dog popping out. She's like, what? Birria? So I think we're going to be going through some. In fact, I think there's already some out thawed, and they're using it. But those are really good. My wife, she makes the best. She's authentic, so she makes the best authentic Mexican food. I had never tasted real enchiladas until she made them. And she actually, her mother, right, makes this paste, this sauce paste stuff. She makes it from scratch and sends it to her. And she takes that and then adds meat broth and tomatoes and all of these other things to it to turn it into the official enchilada sauce. And so there's like 20 or 30 things that Mom will put in it to create this and then send it up, and then my wife will add another dozen or two things to it to create this sauce. I mean, sesame seeds roasted and raisins and like 3 or 4 kinds of chilies and tomatoes and all of this stuff, and it just becomes this beautiful sauce, right? And it's spicy and it's sweet and it just tastes so authentic, right? Every once in a while we'll have a friend over and I'll say, Mom, make enchiladas. Or I'll say, hey, why don't you take some of this and make a plate and take it to so-and-so. And they're like, oh my God, what have I been missing? And from then on, they're wrecked. Enchiladas will never be the same, right? True that, I'm telling you. Because I was wrecked. After I've had her enchiladas once, done. The other stuff, I could never even look at it. And she'll make it from scratch. right? But it will take her like all day to make that sauce. And usually, almost always, she has to use a chunk of that paste that her mother made from home, right? That made it all the way up here. Yeah, so that's heavy. That's heavy stuff right there. That's heavy stuff. She'll use the same stuff, that same paste, to make mole. And if you've ever had mole, I don't have to explain it. And if you've never had it, I can't explain it. It's the equivalent of Mexican gravy. That's all I can say. But I'm not a mole fan. I don't do mole. I do the enchilada sauce, but I can't do that same core paste done into a mole sauce. It's enchiladas or nothing. And for the first time, she made birria this year. And she had never made it before. Everybody else was always making it. So somebody always, we'd go to a party and it's like, what are you going to make? Well, I'm making birria. Okay, well, I guess I'll make this. So and at home she never made it. It was one of those delicacy things, right? So she just recently made it for the first time and found a great recipe, and it is just a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So when we make it, when other people make it, they use like chivo, like goat or lamb or something, right? We like to go and get a couple of really nice cuts of like roast. Yeah, kind of like chocolate mole. Yeah, it's because it does have a little chocolate in it. It does have a lot of stuff in it. And it's just not my bag, baby. Chicken and mole with rice and beans. I just don't get it. Right? Just not in my flavor palette. But yeah. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What is the other one? Pasoli. Pasoli is another one. My wife, we were just talking to Joey the other day about lengua, exactly. Tacos de lengua. They love it, the texture. Joey said the texture is one of the things that he loves about it, and for me it's the texture that does it. No, I can't do it. So we used to go places, and you like the cheek too, right? We'd go places, my wife would order that stuff, tacos de cabeza, tacos de lengua, that kind of stuff. And I'll just have some carne asada. I would always just have the carne asada tacos done up with a lot of cilantro and onions and lime and stuff. Street tacos, but yeah, cabeza. Tacos de cabeza. Oh, that's brain. Tacos de cabeza. You mean head cheese? No, just brain. Actually, it's not brain. It's the meat off of the head. That's what it is. It's head meat, right? The meat boiled off of the skull. Sans the brain and the lingua. Then you boil the rest of it, right? My wife is a big fan of fish tacos as well. Every once in a while we'll go to a restaurant and she'll try out their fish tacos. It's usually those white cod or tilapia or something like that. I'm not a fan of fish in general, so I don't ever really. I've done fish tacos before, but I'm not a fan of it. It's like, I'd rather just have the fish and chips. And we used to go to a place in Carlsbad, California, where they just did tacos, beer battered fish and chips right there. Fresh meat, fresh batter, fresh potatoes, or you could get it in the taco, right, form, and fresh coleslaw and stuff. So I would always just get the big giant 2-piece, and the pieces were like just huge. Now I want to drive to Carlsbad, California. Yeah, because you really can't get fish like that anywhere else. You really have to go to a specialty place to get it. Salmon tacos, not so much. I like a good salmon with lemon and garlic, you know, something. I'm not into like seafood or like chopped up fish and all kinds of weird, like a seafood chutney or something. I can't do that. What do they call that? Mexican seafood stuff. There are 6 great Mexican restaurants here in Asheville, and they are all completely different styles. Well, that's nice. That is nice. Mexican. Yeah, I forget. I read between the typos. I'm pretty good at that. There are some good places out here. They're good. They're not great. If I want great Mexican food, we got to go to a big city and find a lot of Mexicans, basically. I don't usually do street food. I'll do the occasional truck. But what I really like is an old school, well-established, family name Mexican food restaurant. You know? Yeah, Mexican street food is really, really good, but it's highly unregulated. So every once in a while, I'll get some from like a food truck. I can walk 3 blocks of here at 5 p.m. down to the highway and find a vendor sitting in a dirt field under a canopy with a table of food set up, cooking great food. All right? It's unregulated. There's no food permits. There's no washing area. There's no sink. There's no soapy water. The food is exposed to the elements and the dust and the highway grit because it's like 5 feet off the highway. So I prefer a food truck, right? They make great food down there. And if you get there right when they set up, then you're pretty good. If they've been there for 4 hours and the wind's been blowing, this stuff's kind of gritty. Seriously. And I can't do it. I just can't do it. I prefer a sit-down restaurant with good food coming out of a kitchen. The food's walking by on platters and you can hear it sizzling. That's what I want. I want that. That's the kind of restaurants. We have a couple of those out here. We have like 3 or 4 of those Mexican food restaurants out here where they've got actual Mexicans in the back cooking, you know. And it's real food, really good food. We have a couple of gourmet restaurants with really good, where you can go get prime rib and shrimp and steak and you know, gourmet, really good food. You know, $60, $100 a plate food. But it's those sit-down Mexican restaurants that, yeah, sizzling fajitas. Them sizzling fajitas are really good, man. I love them. I love them. I'm not a fan of the fajitas, all of the onions and peppers and stuff. I'm more of a give me a hunk of meat. Right? Just let me chew on it. And since I don't do teeth anymore, I'm in the denture situation. I don't really do meat like that anymore. It's got to be really good, soft, you know, like really tender porterhouse or ribeye, where you don't have to chew it. You a couple of bites and it just melts in your mouth, right? That's the kind of stuff that I like. Or a really good handmade cheeseburger, right? Or something like In-N-Out. In-N-Out uses a cheeseburger restaurant out here. They use a really good meat. They use like instead of a regular ground beef, but they use like a ground round. They use like a ground chuck. That's what they use. and the meat is just really good, you know. So I like a good meat, but at this point, it has to have a good chew, a good bite to it. It's got to have a good bite. I'm out of coffee. I have no more bite left in me, right? That's a bummer. But like I said, I'm just going to... Pork carnitas. Oh yeah, pork carnitas. My wife, she makes the best authentic Mexican food. It's just to die for, right? We were talking to Joey, and she was saying, yeah, for the first couple of years of our marriage, I wouldn't let my wife cook. And she was like, yeah, he just didn't want to eat my cooking. And I had to say, well, first of all, I was a male, and I felt like I had to prove to you, because, yeah, she is, I had to prove to her, because of her lifestyle and how she was raised, women doing everything, I had to prove to her that I could hold my own in the kitchen. So for the most part, I cooked a lot, and I cooked a lot of really strong, from the cookbook, like Betty Crocker cookbook stuff. I cooked a lot of traditional American meals, and a lot of traditional Americanized Italian and Mexican and Chinese stuff. So for the first couple of years, I did a lot of the cooking, and she would experiment and show me dishes from, you know, that she grew up with, right? And it was mainly because while we were dating, I would spend a lot of time at her family's house during, you know, a birthday every weekend, some kind of festival or quinceañera or anniversary or something. There was always something going on every weekend, every other weekend. So I was always getting a lot of Mexican food, and it was always really authentic and ethnic food. Totally. I love to cook, watching movies, listening to music, you know, standing in my own feces, whatever, you know. I'm just joking. I just love to cook, you know. I don't get to do enough of it anymore. I wish I had a bigger, fancier kitchen that I can set up everything and just go crazy. Because I'm kind of OCD when it comes to cooking. Every morning when I make my cereal, right, I set up the pot, I click on the handle, I put the little spatula, set that on there, and then get my cup, measuring cup, fill it with milk, get my cereal, measure it out and put it into a little dish and set it there, and then get my cutting board and cut up my cereal bar, right, and then get everything prepped. Everything is prepped out in front of me, and then I'll begin, and I do that, and it's just my OCD, and that's the way I love to cook. I love to, like, okay, I need this and I need this, okay, I've got everything out, and it's like every time I cook, I have to feel like I'm on some kind of cooking show, you know, and I could. Often I've thought, well, when we're at the Airbnb doing a party and we're setting up and cooking something, let's do that. Video me cooking, going through all of the steps along the way. Because I could do that. I could totally do that. While my wife makes great, authentic Mexican food, she also makes great, authentic whitey food, that we call it in our household. Brownie food, whitey food. It's, you know, we have fun with it because it's there's nothing racial, there's nothing like that demeaning involved. It's just exterior decoration, right? When you look at someone's color, that's it. We're just decorated differently. We're just, you know, I see different shades of skin as being just that, you know, that's all. And so we have fun with it, you know. But she makes great meatloaf, you know. She makes great spaghetti and meatballs to die for, you know, fried chicken, she makes this fried chicken that is just, it's just crazy. I'm not talking a mess of fried chicken drumsticks and wings and thighs. I'm talking breast filleted out and flattened and breaded and floured and egged and everything, so that you get this fried chicken, but they're like fried chicken strips, big giant fried chicken fillets, right? Juicy and moist and tender, and the great part is that it's the best part of the chicken, and when it's cooked like that, tomorrow it becomes chicken sandwiches or leftover fried chicken and mashed potatoes and gravy. But you can do a great chicken sandwich with it. Just warm it up and bun that stuff, and you're mowing down, baby. Yeah, she just makes some great. Every once in a while, I'll experiment and come up with a new recipe that kind of changes my thinking on how stuff should be, right? Which then adds to the next time I cook, right? Like, I used to eat beef stroganoff, traditional beef stroganoff, and it was just little strips of meat, you know, grilled up, and then the sauce with the sour cream, and then the noodles, mix it all together with some frozen peas, and that was it. To me, that was a traditional beef stroganoff. And that would take like an hour. And now I can take and do beef stroganoff totally different, but it takes me about 4 hours to do it now. And the meat that I use is completely different, and it doesn't come out in strips, and it's totally plated different, and it has a totally different flavor profile. It's man. So that's one of those dishes, beef stroganoff, that every once in a while I'll bust out, and people will be like, beef stroganoff, huh? Really? And I'll do it, and oh my God, beef stroganoff? Really? Yeah, it's that good. It is so good. It is, and I looked at some recipes, and then I kind of decided, you know what, I'm going to do it this way, and then that's it. Chicken piccata, flattened, yeah. Chicken piccata, chicken marsala, chicken tiki, chicken drambuie. Chicken, I like to do chicken different ways. Curry chicken, any kind of chicken and rice, chicken differently, right? I think we're going to do a lightly battered fried chicken. If you love beef stroganoff, you're probably going to you're going to taste mine and go, this ain't my mom's beef stroganoff, because it's different. When you look at it, you think, holy hell, what is this? It really looks like it's plated at a gourmet restaurant. It is such a beautiful plate of food, and when it's all blended and you're sucking it down, you're just horking it down, and you can't get enough. And then you get like halfway through the small plate, and you're going, oh my God, this stuff sticks to your ribs, man. It is so rich and filling, and now I gotta make it. That's it. Now I gotta make it. Mom. Beef stroganoff. That's it. I use wide egg noodles because you have to. Because you have to. Why do you run home? Because you have to. You have to use wide egg noodles. I use a really good couple of, depending on how many we're feeding. If I'm doing like a dinner party, I will do a couple of bags of noodles. So I'm looking at a couple of really good roasts, not pot roast, like a chuck roast, something where you've got to trim off a little bit of fat before you cook it, you know. And I use it. I get a really nice cut of meat, really good marbling, not too extensive in the marbling, but you want to have marble. You want to have some good fat along the edges, so you can regulate the moistness. No, not a light brown sauce. I don't make a sauce. See, that's the key, is I don't make a sauce. I'll let you in on a little secret. You take your chuck roast and you cube it into, I don't know, baby size, wife size fists, cubes, right? You cube this chunks of chuck roast. After you've trimmed off the fat, you make nice big chunks. And then you take some olive oil and butter in a pan, right? And you heat up the olive oil and the butter. The olive oil keeps the butter from burning, and you get a nice flavor palette going. You add in a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper and a little bit of garlic powder, because you don't want to overpower it. And we're going to be going through a lot of salt in this. So you take those chunks, you put them into a bowl, you add a little bit of olive oil and salt and pepper, and you mix it up. You drop those chunks into the hot oil and butter mixture, and you brown them really good on all sides, those cubes, right? Once they're browned, you add a little bit more butter, and you add in some chopped onions, all right? You get those onions nice and translucent, and then you add in your broth, and you fill the pan up so that the broth, the beef broth, or stock, or both, that covers the meat, all right? And then you put a lid on it, and you simmer it, so it's just bubbling, and you let it simmer, and that's it. You leave that alone, all right? That's all you do with that. You leave that alone. You let that cook for about 2.5 or 3 hours, right? And you keep adding a little broth or stock to it to make sure that it stays above the meat, right? It cooks. After a while, at about 2.5, 3 hours, you take the lid off and you start poking that meat, and it breaks up into big shredded chunks, right? And as you're doing this, the moisture content reduces. And it reduces so that now the broken up meat is in a lot of juice, right? You add in some more onions until those onions are translucent, right? You chop up a little bit of dill and you add that in there. Is that not right? No, not dill. Thyme. Sorry, you add in a little bit of thyme. You throw the little bit of thyme in there, diced up, right? And then from there, you add 2 tablespoons, depending on how much meat you have, a couple of good squirts of mustard, right? And you get that in there, and you let it bubble and all mixed in together, and then you add about a half a cup to a cup of sour cream, depending on how much meat you have, and you let that all mix up together, and it creates this really saucy meat, right? And you take your egg noodles, you plate your egg noodles, you take your meat and you place that on top of the egg noodles. You top that with sour cream, a really healthy dollop of sour cream, and then you take some fine chopped Italian parsley, because it's got a good flavor to it. You garnish it on the top with that, and that's all you need. And when you take that plate, and after you've taken your photo going, oh my God, you mix it all up, and you hork that shit down, and you think, oh my God, I'm gonna have like 3 helpings of this, and you barely finish the plate, and you're like, oh my God, that is so oh my God, why did I eat so much? And you didn't. It's just so fucking rich and healthy and meaty. It is so good. It is so good. And all it is that meat flavor and sour cream and mustard. And that's all. And that makes that flavor profile just crazy good. Right? Oh. It's to die for, and now I have to make it. Now I have to make it. So I'll try to remember to take photos. And in fact, once I did, I almost made the full complete video of me cooking it. Really good. It's real. But I'll take some photos of the plated beef stroganoff. It is really to die for. Now that you know the secret, it's real easy to do. It's a couple of different recipes from a couple of different videos that I watched, and I kind of just honed it in. And you can have it with a really good fresh dinner bread, a big kind of round bread or sourdough, something buttered and warmed up in the oven and then sliced. Right, it's really good with that too. But I tell you what, because this stuff really sticks to your ribs, you almost don't need anything. You got to be somebody who likes to eat a lot in order to have bread or any kind of other side with this, because it's just too good. Right? You can't have a vegetable with it because, oh, I forgot one important thing. I did. The most important thing is that in another pan, after the meat has cooked for about 2.5 hours, in another pan, in olive oil and butter, you add 3 different kinds of mushrooms: white mushrooms, poblano mushrooms, not poblano mushrooms, portobello mushrooms, and oyster mushrooms. You add those 3 mushrooms together, and you cook those in a separate pan. You drain off the juice, and you add that to the meat sauce, and there's your vegetable. That's what it is. I forgot. One of the most important parts of this is those 3 kinds of mushrooms added to the meat, because it takes it to that next level. Right? You think that beef stroganoff that I described is but once you add those 3 kinds of mushrooms, the flavor profile is just overwhelming, and the textures are just incredible, right? Those mushrooms, those flavors, you know. You can use 1 kind of mushrooms, 2 kinds, 4, you can use different combinations of mushrooms. I usually prefer lightly cooked white mushrooms, those big white mushrooms, diced. Because you want to dice up some, not dice, but slice. You want to slice up some, like pizza style. And some of them, like the oyster mushrooms, you just want to break them apart. So you've got little mushrooms dangling here and there. You know. But man, is it really, really good. I can't believe I almost forgot mushrooms. That's one of the most important things in that, to make it that gourmet level, right? It's just beautiful. And when you're cooking those big, giant, fist-sized chunks of meat and browning them, right? Oh, it feels so primal. Big. You just want to be out on the open fire. This would be one of those meals that would be great to, like, do outdoors, right? Outdoors, at a camp, in a big camp kitchen set up, you know. And, you know, what are we having? Burgers, ribs, chicken? What? We're having beef stroganoff. What? Yeah, big pot of noodles, big pot of mushrooms, big pot of meat, you know. And people rolling around afterward going, oh my God, that was so good. Oh, I want to eat more, but I can't. Really. And you think, oh my God, you've made so much and there's going to be so much left over. But there's like nothing. Nothing. There's just nothing left over. Especially if you plan it right and do the right dinner party. It's like you plate everything and get everybody fed. And it's like you don't have to worry about seconds. Because nobody's going to want seconds at all. You know. Somebody might say, can I take a plate home? But that's it. And then they ain't going to eat it tonight. Yeah, you can barely look at dessert after eating one of those fucking plates filled with those egg noodles, buttered egg noodles. You cook the egg noodles, you boil them, and then you put them back in the pot, and you add a fucking stick of soft butter, and you mix that butter up, and it keeps them from sticking together and clumping, and they soak up that butter. And they just get such a rich, buttery flavor, you know. And they're sticky, but they don't stick together, right? They have that buttery goodness, right? And a plate of buttery, because you're using salted butter, you got this buttery, salty noodles. This meat that has just got all of this flavor with the onions and the seasonings and stuff, and those mushrooms, and the textures. It's beautiful. It's to die for. It's just to die for. It is. I'm gonna die. I could die for it right now. I think I'm gonna go out shopping like Friday and get the stuff to make this over the weekend. Totally. Because it's just good stuff. I can't stop thinking about it. Mainly because it's breakfast time and I haven't eaten anything and it's late. Usually by now the show's over and I'm in there making breakfast. So I think that's why I'm here. I love onions and garlic and potatoes and cheese and eggs. That's one of my favorite dishes for breakfast. A bunch of fried potatoes and eggs and garlic. And onions and cheese. And just fry it all up in a skillet, you know. And stick it in a tortilla. Stick it in a warm tortilla. Totally. Or put it in like a bowl with melted cheese and sour cream on it. That's also good too. Little green onions. I love a good cream sauce too. What is really good is taking just a cup of one of those containers of heavy cream, right? And do some butter and some garlic and some onions in a pan and warm it up. And then add in your heavy cream. And then add in some Parmesan Reggiano, some fresh Parmesan, right? And then add in some roasted garlic paste, right? Take a chunk of garlic, big old garlic clove, chop the top off of it, put butter and salt on it, roast it in the oven, and then take those things out and squish those things into a bowl, mix it up with a little more butter until it's paste, and then add it to the sauce, right? And you get that roasted garlic. And then, so you got this garlic and Parmesan cream sauce. And you just cook it to taste, and then you let it thicken up. And then you have that over potato ganache. Oh man, that is so good. That is such a good. These are great dishes you can make yourself, whether you've got a significant other, or you just want to eat good food by yourself, or make it for your whole family, right? I mean, good stuff. When I was single, back in the early mid-90s, probably mid-90s, I used to make this linguine and clam sauce. I don't know why, you know, and get some really good clams and make a fresh tomato sauce. And I would really take some quality ingredients and work from scratch and create a sauce. And within like an hour or two, I would put together a nice tomato sauce that tasted really fresh, and then add in my clams and have it over a really nice pasta, right? And I made that for a few people. Yeah, or garlic shrimp and Alfredo is one of my favorites. That's my wife and I. That was our first date. We went to a restaurant on the beach and had it was a garlic shrimp Alfredo that was just really good. It came sizzling on the plate. Turkey and chicken tetrazzini. Sure. Tetrazzini, right? That's awesome. That's a nice word. Tetrazzini, right? That's Italian for Tetris. Play the tetrazzini. Hey, you like to play the tetrazzini? No, I don't. Oh, I got a bong hit here. I'm gonna do a bong hit. It's a half an hour after the end of showtime, and we're still here. So, thanks for hanging around. Thanks for joining me this morning. I don't know who's here, who's been here, who's coming or going, but thank you WW and thank you JF for showing up this morning. I'm going in, cover me. Thank you and good night. Yesterday. It's hilarious. Try the Stouffer's version. Really? I will check it out. I like Stouffer's. I've been eating Stouffer's since I was a kid. The kid in me says, this Stouffer's is different. Because today's Stouffer's is way different than the Stouffer's we used to eat. Yeah. But I'll give it a shot next time I'm there and picking up a couple of microwave dinners for the freezer. My daughter likes the chicken Alfredo. I like the meatloaf. She likes the macaroni and cheese. Banquet. That's what it is. Also Banquet. I like Banquet's fried chicken. Get a box of 8 pieces of fried chicken. Banquet fried chicken. You just dump the box onto a thing, stick it into the air fryer, and it's pretty damn good. It comes out sizzling, nice and crispy. For the life of me, I really want to try to do a roasted fried chicken. Yeah, see, that's my daughter's favorite, the chicken Alfredo. She really likes that one. But I really wanted, there was this roasted fried, it was like a pan-fried chicken without a lot of batter, right? There wasn't a lot of fanfare. It was just chicken fried in the oil, right? With a lot of seasonings on it, like dry stuff, dry rub. But I want to try that, with just like a light seasoned powder on the outside, but mainly just, because you can do like seasoned flour and then put that on there, and then just without any egg, right, just dried chicken, and then just kind of run it through the flour and chuck it in there, because you can do egg and then flour and then batter, dry stuff, whatever, back and forth. There's a lot of different ways to do fried chicken. I want to try the simple way. Just a little bit of seasoned flour, throw it into a hot skillet, and let it fry till it's cooked. Right? Stouffer's chicken a la king. See, now we're cooking. Right up my alley. I used to eat a lot of fast food and a lot of, frozen food. I used to make a lot of food because I got burned out on eating so much. As being single, I got really burned out on eating a lot of fast food and frozen dinners and stuff. So I would, every 2 weeks, I would go into the kitchen and I would make a bunch of stuff, and then I would freeze it. People do this shit all the time. I'm going to go in and make 6 months worth of food, right? And they do. They go in there and they make a bunch of these meals and then freeze them in individual packets. And then they can just go in and grab homemade frozen dinners, right? And I used to do that. I used to make bags of 2 burritos, beans, rice, and cheese. And I'd make these great little burritos, and I'd put them 2 in a bag, and I'd wrap them up, and I'd freeze them. And I would freeze enough for 2 weeks worth of work, 6 days a week. So I would just freeze a dozen burritos. I'm sorry, 2 dozen burritos, because I'd have 2 a day, right? So, and I was just fine with that. I'll have green sauce today. Today I'll have red sauce, right? Ooh, I'm going to have it plain today. Whatever. I mean, I didn't care. It was just nourishment. It was just a break. Going to the car and eating those 2 burritos was just a pretense to go sit in the car and listen to an old-time radio show for 25 minutes and smoke a little weed. And then back to work. So, there you go. But yeah, making really good meals that you really don't have time for during the week. But you want to eat good. So you make a half a dozen meals and freeze a couple of portions, right? And then over that weekend that you're cooking, you know, it's like today I'm going to make lunch, and I'm going to make this really elaborate lunch and have a really good lunch today, but I'm going to freeze 2 or 3 portions so that later on this month I can have more, right? And then for dinner Saturday night I'm going to do it again, and then freeze a bunch of leftovers, and then Sunday do it again, and then Saturday do it again. And now trying to come up with dinner for the next couple of weeks during the week isn't all that important, you know. And it's hard to do that when you've got a big family, or even a small family, right? Because then you've really got to cook a bunch, and then you got to have a giant freezer and stuff. But I used to have a little tiny regular apartment freezer, and used to just fill it full of everything. Yeah, buddy. It's nice when you can eat good and healthy, even when you're busy. And I need to get back to eating good and healthy, just period, right? Eating more often. Lasagna. I used to make a great spinach and sausage lasagna when I was younger. I used to love all of the different ingredients and OCD, right? Just setting everything out, and the preparation, and then the organization of the pasta and the meat and everything in the, you know, it was just, yeah, I really love a good lasagna and making a good lasagna. That's always fun. We just recently made a ziti, and it wasn't crazy. It was just some really good noodles, tricolor noodles, penne, I think, and I just used a regular sauce, a regular spaghetti sauce, the layers, and also I just put pasta with the sauce, put on a nice healthy layer of ricotta, and then sprinkled in a bunch of diced finely chopped up spinach, and a bunch of Parmesan. Actually, I mixed the Parmesan into the noodles and sauce, and then put more noodles and sauce on the top of the spinach and ricotta, and then some Parmesan on top, and then stuck it in the oven and baked it for 20 minutes. And that was it. And that was my ziti. And that was a pretty chintzy ziti, but it was really, really good. And that ricotta, you take it, plate that stuff, and then heat it up, and then mix it. And I ate on that thing for like 3 days. And I just take a giant heaping spoonful, heat it up in the microwave, and then mix that ricotta into it. So it was just all a creamy, tomatoey sauce. And oh, that was really, really good. Really good. The next pasta thing I have to make is just a cold pasta salad. And it's just that tricolor spiral noodles and some Ken's Steakhouse creamy Caesar dressing, a bottle of that, a box of pasta, a bottle of dressing, some chopped up spinach, any other little vegetables you like to put in it, little tiny whole mushrooms from a bottle or can, little olives. I don't like olives, but you can put olives in it. Sprinkle in some cheese, some either Parmesan or mozzarella, depending on which way you want to go. You might do both. Or sometimes you can put in some feta, a really good basil feta cheese chunks in that, and mix it all up, and it's really, really good. Little spinach. Yeah, baby. Some diced stewed tomatoes, right? The fresh and the canned tomatoes. So you get them fresh canned tomatoes that are skinless but petite diced, and you just mix that into it, drain the juice, make sure they're pretty drained out, and then add that to it. And then you've got the tomatoes and the other flavors. It creates a really nice profile, with the feta cheese, the tomatoes, the whole mushrooms, juicy whole jarred pickled mushrooms, some olives. Yeah, it's really, really good. And then you can garnish it with croutons and have it with, either garnish it with croutons or have it with toasted baguette. Right, buttery toasted baguette. That's also good. Do I ever make chicken divan? No, I have not. I've never even heard chicken divan. Is it divan? It's totally divan, baby. Oh, that's divine, right? Chicken divan. I've never made that. Never heard of it. It reminds me of cake. Oh, that's chiffon. Well, that's a dress. Right? But is it pudding? I hear something out there. Sounds like a, a plane or a big truck going by. We're just 3 or 4 blocks from the main highway that goes through Joshua Tree. And then I've got a road right next to us that's kind of a main road on a hill about, 200 yards that way. So people going up that hill will really get on the gas, and all the time I hear these vehicles, and then sometimes it's a helicopter because of the highway and the military base. So rich and creamy chicken divan. All right, now I gotta write that down because chicken divan sounds good, and I'm up for new. Now I like tender, juicy chicken. I want to bite into my chicken and have it go away after a couple of bites, right? That's the kind of chicken I like. So, also I want to try new ethnic foods, right? I want to try Thai food, Filipino food, Korean, Vietnamese. I want to try it all. I really, really, really want to try it all. The only bummer is that I don't know foods. I don't. So we have to go to a place, that's got a good rating, and then go in and say, what do I order? There's a couple of great Asian restaurants out here. You can get good Japanese cuisine and sushi and stuff, and I think I should probably start there and explore their menu a little bit more. And see if I can come up with, because usually you go to a place, it's like, I'm going to get the usual, and my daughter and I are both like that. We go to a restaurant and we know exactly what we're going to order every time, right? I can go to a restaurant and order her food and bring it home and she go, oh, thank you. That's perfect, right? Because we order the same thing every time. My wife, she's going to have this time. Nah, this time I'm going to have, she's all over the place, right? She's exciting. My daughter and I are really boring when it comes to eating. We don't do a lot of exploration. So I think we need to change that. We need to explore our palate through the menu of the world and try to have some fun with it, for cripe's sake. Did you say crepe? No. Totally. Yeah. You know, it's the food rut, Western diet rut. We get into the same thing. We just get used to eating the same stuff, right? A lot of us, not all of us. I mean, obviously. What about an Indian food? Yeah, there's a couple of good Indian restaurants out here, and because we happen to know a couple of Indian gentlemen and their families, I think he did tell us which one to go eat at. So the only thing is that I don't know what to order, right? I don't know what to eat at these places because I don't know what my palate is going to appreciate the most, and I'm not going to get anything that looks or sounds or smells too bizarre, right? Unless somebody can say, well, this is this. So we have to go to a restaurant where I can actually talk to the people there and, okay, what you want? Okay, you tell me when you know what you want. And then they, okay, you know what you want? Okay, no. That is food. That is food. That is food. You want to order now? Okay, don't order now. I'll be back. I got things to do. I don't have to tell you what to order. You order what you want. Read the food, order the food. So I need to go to somebody who's actually going to talk to me and explain to me what's going on. And that's why I really, really want to find a Chinese restaurant and an Indian restaurant that is well established and they've been around for about 40 or 50 years or more, because that's what I want to taste. That's what I remember tasting. I go to any kind of Asian food now. I go to try to taste what I think I'm going to taste, and it's different. Mainly because a lot of it is over-processed. And back when I ate at these places, a lot of it was hand-prepared by family members in the back, You go to a Mexican food restaurant, you go into the back, there's Mexicans. You go to an Italian restaurant, you go into the back, and there's Mexicans. You go to an Indian restaurant, you go into the back, there's Mexicans. You go into a Chinese restaurant, you go into the back, there's Mexicans, right? So everything is not necessarily coming from recipes as it is from boxes of ingredients that you put together and say, okay, this is this, and this is this. And if you take this box and that box, it'll give you this. And that's a shame. And I want to have sweet and sour pork the way I remember it, not the way you're going to get it at P.F. Chang's or Panda Express, or even the place down the street that looks like a family-owned business, but it still tastes the same as P.F. Chang's or Panda Express. I want that original taste, that original flavor. You'd open up the carton and you don't get the same feeling. Sure, you might now if you were, born 20 years ago, 30 years ago, you might. But if you were born 50 or 60 years ago, you remember a different kind of Chinese food. And that's what I want. And that's what's hard to find. That original flavor stuff going on, It sounds like the house is starting to wake up this morning, so I can start thinking about food. Yeah, baby. And I am I am really seriously thinking about food. I don't know what. I don't know what I'm gonna eat, but I know I'm gonna be eating something good here pretty soon. I got another hit here. I'm out of coffee, so I can't share a sip of coffee with you, but I can share a hit with you. Yeah, good old Indian food. That's really good. What I want to do is Native American food. Swawad. I have no idea what that is. Seaweed. Yeah, I like seaweed. I have no idea. I just told my daughter the other day, I said we need to find out when the Native American powwows are happening out here at the reservations, because I really want to go, and I really want to get some Indian fry bread and some of the foods that they serve, because when I was a kid I went to some powwows on reservations like in Nebraska and South Dakota. So I'm not going to get the same thing here, but I'm going to get pretty damn close. So I'd like to go there and check out the food and the music and the beadwork and the clothing and the dancing especially. Not that it's in my blood, because I don't believe for a second that I share any Native American blood with my father or his lineage. So, but like a lot of us American mutts, we probably got a little something in us from everybody. So I'm fine with that. I'm totally cool with that. But it's been decades since I've been to a powwow, and I don't think my wife has ever been to one, and I know my daughter hasn't. So that would be really good. I think this next year, if I'm around, I think this is the year that we are going to go to the Ramona pageant. And the Ramona pageant is an outdoor play set in the hills of Hemet, California, and it is about the book Ramona from 100 years ago. And tiki masala is really good, yeah. It's Indian broccoli and spinach. Well, there you go. Vegetables. But it's an outdoor play. They use hundreds of people in the cast, live horses and animals, and shooting, and people, popping up everywhere and riding out of the hills, and it's. I love sushi. I love Lucy. It's really great, and it's like a couple of hours of this outdoor movie, basically play right there. Everybody's mic'd and there's live music, and it's a rancho hacienda thing, and the Native Americans and the coming together of the Native Americans and the Californios who lived in California before the whites came here and kicked everybody out. So it's a really nice play, and it happens for a few weekends every year. And I first saw it back in 1980 or 81, and they were celebrating an anniversary, and the lady who I babysat for worked for a newspaper, and she was sent there to do an article, and nobody else wanted to go, so she took me. So she and I went to this thing. Faux soup. No, but I'd be willing to try it. I know we've got a faux restaurant here in town, so I'd like to give that a shot. It's just about time to wrap the show up. But, yeah. Totally. But the Ramona pageant out here, I really want to try to get to it this year. I've been saying it every year for the last 10 years. My wife and I went a long time ago, because I hadn't been since I was a kid. So she and I went before we had our daughter. So, yeah, we have a couple of Vietnamese restaurants out here, because we have a military base, so we've got a lot of veterans. So it's kind of a popular thing. But yeah, Totally. Anyway, I guess it's about time that I get rolling on out of here. I will be back tomorrow. There's Sam. I will be back tomorrow for Old Time Radio Wednesday. Still viewer's choice till the end of the week. So we'll talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. Old time radio stations, what have you. Between now and then, I'm going to try to find some good food to eat, because that'd be nice. Yeah. Anyway, I will be back tomorrow. And I don't know what the hell's going on. We're just going to keep playing it by ear. This weekend, I will get my act together and plan out a new month of stuff. Because, let's play the outside around the DC Cherokee. It's called Unto These Hills, about the Indians. Oh, that is great. That is great. Yeah, because the Ramona pageant just kills. It's so fucking awesome. Right? And they use a lot of Native Americans in the cast. A lot of honest-to-goodness Mexicans in the cast, Mexican Americans. It's really, really cool. You know, hi Sam. And I think my daughter is old enough to really appreciate it. So, I think it happens in around April, when it's still cool, not yet too warm. They might move it up a little bit because of the change in the weather and stuff. So we'll see. All right, people, y'all know what to do. I will be back tomorrow. Until then, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. You know, spread peace and love, not bullshit. Do something for yourself, but do something for somebody else too. Why? Because it's nice. It makes you feel good. Makes somebody else feel good. Makes the world a better place. Makes you a better person. You know what I'm talking about. It's all about love, baby. All right? Do unto others and all that. All right? All right, people, you take care of yourselves, all right? Most especially stay weird, because if you ain't weird, ain't nobody going to be weird for you, baby. You got to put in the time. You got to put in the effort. You got to do the work. Stay weird, all right? Be nice to people for no reason. That's fucking weird. That'll weird them out. Oh, my God. He was nice. Do that. Just do it. Just do it. All right, people, take care of each other. See you tomorrow, WW. Thanks you, JF, and all you other flies on the wall and irregulars. Thank you for coming by. I've had a blast. Thanking you deeply from my heart for making this a wonderful 3 hours this morning. I'll see you in the mañana. Until then, take care of yourselves. Love you, and oh yeah, adios.